All right, we're back. Episode 5. Happy Monday of the Ball Takes podcast. Drudar, how are we doing, baby? Happy Monday. This is great.
Hot start.
Hey, this is what we do. I just talk and no one talks back to me, man. It's like a miracle.
No. Hello.
All right, here we go. We got Dar. Dar, you doing all right?
Yeah, just making it, trying to get through microphone problems for the 15th episode in a row.
Hey, some things never change. All right, so real quick, guys, we got a big-time episode coming today with some big-time guests. It's officially football season. Thank the Lord, man. It's football season. Fall's right around the corner, the best time of the year, in my opinion. And the whole focus of our show today is going to be an NC State football preview. So before we get going and talking about it, definitely want to introduce our guest. The first guy I'd really like to introduce is Mr. Alec Lauer. Did I say that right?
You did. Yeah, you're the second person ever to get it right on the first try.
What do some other people say? Like, what do they do?
Lower, low. I've been called Alan before, so you nailed it.
All right, maybe we should just like stop the podcast right now while we're all good and just like call it an episode.
Put it on your head.
But Alec, real quick, I know you're like the founder and editor of Trinity Road Times, correct, man? We appreciate you being here. If you just kind of want to tell some of our listeners a little bit about yourself and your journey, and we'd appreciate that.
Yeah. So I was born in just outside of Raleigh. I was going to state games before I could talk. So I've been to Carter Finley since I was about 2 years old. I've always liked to write, so I started writing about the team in college for SB Nation. And then back in 2023, we decided to start our own site, independent Trinity Road Times. Brought over some great writers and got that kicked off. And it's been really fun. I've really, the best part has been meeting people like you guys and talking about sports. So it's been great. Appreciate you having me on.
Hey, how many times, what's the over-under the times you left Carter Finley crying in your childhood? Like, can you have the ballpark of a number?
The story that my family loves to tell is the Mike Glennon game in 2012 against Maryland, or that was 2011 against Maryland when they were down by 27. That's the only game I've ever walked out of twice. I walked out at halftime, and we came back in, and what's-his-face busted off like an 80-yard touchdown run, and I walked out again. And then I came back in and watched the end of it when it was like 12 points or whatever. So, yeah, I've been through it, I've been through it.
I think we're all stronger as like human beings for state fans. Like, we love them, but like it makes you grow up real fast.
Yeah.
All right, our second guest today, that's Mr. Grayson Boone from Locked On Wolfpack. Grayson, appreciate you being here, man. If you want to give just kind of listeners kind of like out, get just a little bit of background about you and kind of your journey, like in like the state media, I guess.
Yeah, what's up, fellas? Super happy to be here. I appreciate the opportunity to talk some NC State football. I'm kind of a unique perspective because, like, unlike Alec, I wasn't in journalism. I've never like done writing. Really didn't do podcasting before I got into this either. Could not have been more random about how I ended up being a host of a podcast. So the podcast is Locked On Wolfpack. During school, we say when school's in session, so are we. We're 5 days a week. We'll also do a live show after each football game. My co-host is Kenton Gibbs. He's in Coach Doran's first recruiting class at NC State, so cool to have a player perspective as well. We've been doing this together for about, 3.5 years now. This will be our, fourth football season covering NC State football. It's a blast. I guess I didn't even cover my story. So friend of mine, mutual friend, Kent and I have a mutual friend that also went to State. He just messaged me one day. He was like, hey, I know you love State. You talk about sports all the time. Have you ever done a podcast? I'm like, no, hasn't even crossed my mind. He's like, well, do you want to? And I was like, where's this going? So then he told me about Kenton. He told me about Locked On Wolfpack. He's like, reach out to him. He's looking for a co-host. Just see where things go. So I texted Kenton. Kenton responds the next day. We do like a demo episode. And then I hear from the Locked On people. They're like, hey, who are you? And where did you just come from? That was like not bad. So then we do like a couple more demo podcasts. And now 3.5 years later, we've been doing it together. So it's been a blast. It's been really cool to meet a lot of cool people. All of y'all on here included. We all love NC State so much. We've had our heart broken countless times. Sometimes you do walk out of a game twice, like Alec alluded to. There's no better fan base to be a part of. We're so blessed to interact with so many NC State fans through the highs and the lows, but we are getting ready for another football season.
I think the funniest thing to me, like when I really learned like how big, like because growing up a State fan, like how State has a lot of fans and like a lot of like really good fans. I remember like when the whole Will Wade thing was going on, like Trilly Donovan was having his like Twitter spaces, and there's just like a million burner. It could have been y'all in there for all I know, but there were like so many burner accounts. I was like, holy crap, man! Like State fans are really good. Like we're really passionate, like good fans. A question for y'all real quick. So I know y'all's journey, like, sounds like it's a little bit different of how you guys kind of got to like where you are, like what you do now. Like when y'all look back to where you started, like to where you are now, like, is it kind of going the way you thought it would go? Or has it been like way different, like a lot more challenge than you thought, like a lot more, like maybe joy or success than you thought? Like, how would you guys just kind of like, I don't know, like summarize your journey from where you started to kind of where you guys both are now, like with your individual stuff?
I don't know.
Man, I think. Go ahead, Alex.
Go ahead. I was gonna say I don't know if I ever really had a plan. I just was like I like sports, so I'm just gonna start writing about it wherever will let me. And I think I kind of just liked it more than I thought I would. And lately I've gotten really into like the scheme and stuff like that in football, and that's really been a cool hobby for me just to kind of learn the game. So that was not where I expected to go. I just like to write. So yeah, I guess it kind of just took on a life of its own.
Yeah, for me, like I think because of the randomness, I never would have expected that the podcast is doing pretty well, and people seem to. I mean, they seem to enjoy listening to it. I guess I won't hold my breath, but no, like I never thought that we'd be having a daily show. I never thought that we'd be able to go to these events and people will tell us that they listen and crazy stuff like that, and getting to know some of the players now. It's been such a whirlwind, but I think not to preach about life lessons, but like if you just say yes to opportunities, you never know where life could take you. And I think this is a prime example of that.
Grayson, you'll love this. You'll love this, Grayson. Like literally, we started the podcast because of some of the people Trey knows. We've actually got a good influx of Pac-9 players in our following. Like both Nixon brothers followed back. It's like I'm firing off follows left and right on Instagram to like State guys, and like I was amazed like how like some of them like instantly like followed back, and I was like didn't really expect that because like who's this random podcast. But
they're the best, man. Pac-9 dudes are different. I guarantee you can probably have some of them on this channel. You might have to reach out to Evan Edwards because he's bald. I know this is bald takes.
Hey, I
hate to ruin it for you, but I have a lot of hair actually.
We definitely need Kenton.
Yeah, I'll get him on here. I promise.
Dude, every guest that we've had on here comes on like the most like luscious hair, like down to their shoulders. So we're just like, this is going against like this is going against everything. Dart, we need to check your like Venmo transactions and see if you've like, have you paid for any followers or is it all natural?
Oh, it's all natural. It's all natural.
All right.
I will say that both of our guests have come from networking just through Twitter and just conversation. Like Grayson and I text constantly in the DMs. Now we have exchange phone numbers, but like about like Pac-9 baseball and like just dumb stuff, and like I fired off some funny like not serious conspiracies of like why things were happening the last couple of years. and then like with Alec, like him and Philip Danford have taught me so much about football.
Yeah.
That like you start thinking stuff differently, and then like Alec also he does really good stuff on basketball. So like as someone who coaches, like I've taken a play that he's broke down and I've tried to implement it.
I wouldn't do that.
It's a lot harder. It's a lot harder. But
did it work? Did it work? Did it work?
Yeah, did it work?
One of the inbound plays did. It was a shooter play where like the inbound is the shooter. But Alec really did kill the Kevin Keats doesn't coach offense and run plays narrative. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, that one was frustrating.
That was the Jimmys, not the Joes.
Hey, I loved it. We could have a whole podcast about that because I'm a Keats stain. I don't want to stir anybody up tonight, but let's stick to football. All right, so real quick, hey, let's get into it. Like, let's start with a bang here. All right, off the top of your head, all right, Alec, we'll start with you, man. What's your overall prediction for the Pack football squad this year? What are we feeling record-wise? Prediction of some losses that you think may come. Like, what's your prediction for the year overall?
So I have a low confidence prediction of 7-5 right now is where I'm at. I think there's a lot of there's some holes in this team that I think need to be ironed out before I'm willing to bet on the 10-2 record, the ACC championship appearance, all of what might be on the table. But I do think it's possible. right? I do think it's possible. I think this team's going to play in 5 to 6 really close games, and it's going to depend on how those fall. I do have State getting over the Duke problem, the team they should have beat both of the last 2 years. I do have them, getting that one. I do not have them winning at Virginia. I think that's going to be kind of a slog. I'm expecting a lot of long drives on behalf of the Hoos. And then my one kind of outlier, like random one, is I have State losing to Syracuse right now, which is not going to be a popular pick, but I do really like Steve Angeli a lot. I think he's going to make them a much better team than people think they're going to be. And yeah, I mean, I think State's going to be like playing in 5, 6 games that are going to come down to the last couple minutes, and however that falls is however the season's going to fall.
I like Grayson. What's your? Give me something better than 7-5, please. I was like excited for tonight, and now Alex just crushed the. No, I
When
actually
you
respect that
expect the least, you get the most.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it is going to be better than 7-5, but I have them at 8-4, and I've been stuck on 8-4 probably going back to like January. And I've tried to poke holes in some wins. I've tried to give us some wins that might be close games. I think Alec wrote a great article about the margins for this team and where the season's going to be defined right there. There's one score, one possession games. How many times has just one thing gone differently for State and you end up with 8 wins instead of 10? Countless. And I think this season is starting to kind of reek of that a little bit. But I have 8-4. I too am with Alec. I don't feel good about Virginia. I just don't. I know we're all excited for the season and we're ready to start this thing off on the right foot, but I don't know. That experience for UVA gives me some pause. Vanderbilt, kind of the same thing. We haven't fared well on the road against SEC teams. In fact, the only team from the SEC that Dave has beaten is Vanderbilt back in 2016. So we'll see if we can run that back. But I think I do have them beating Duke. I think I have them beating Florida State and UNC. Why do people think we're going to lose to Florida State? I'm seeing that a lot. What's that about? I don't understand that. Yeah. Anyway, Wake Forest. I wish we could just like somehow not play Wake Forest. I'm tired of them ruining our season. If there's a trap game, guys. But yeah, I have 8-4. I think, Louisville, tough game. I think Isaac Brown's a lot to account for in the backfield for the Cardinals. Stuck on 8-4.
Okay, so we're going the right direction. We're trending upwards. Dar, what's your bald take here? What's your prediction for the Pack this year?
See, part of me wants to, like, I can't with a straight face give you 10-2. I just can't do it. I think 9-3, but I think they have to go 1-1 in the Vandy Virginia game, and for the sake of the ACC, I really hope it's a Virginia game. Yeah. And then they have to find a way to win at home against Louisville. I think if State wins their home schedule, then 9-3 is very doable, and 10-2 obviously is doable. I think if they get 10 wins through a bowl game. Now, I will say that I'm not granted, they might go get boat raced after me saying this. I actually think Virginia is going to take a step back because I feel like they, weirdly enough, even they lost to State and then they lost that close game to Wake and a close game and to Duke in the ACC title game. I feel like Virginia outplayed their expectations last year because they won on the margins very well. And I feel like the law of averages is bound to come back around because a couple years ago, the Brendan Armstrong year, State won a lot of close games, right? And then the next year, State was in a lot of close games again, and they lost all those games. So I feel like Virginia won so many close games last year that they're bound to have that inverse because like they don't have a high margin of error or a high margin. But I also feel like they run the ball, and I feel like State's defense, like the way their linebackers are, the way their front is, I feel like their front's going to be a lot better against the run than it is going to be against like the pass. And I do think having Dyson and Sterling Dixon as edges that are good at getting to the quarterback, it's good. But I do hope that Shirley and I think Adidere, if you watch that Memphis game, he was all over the field the entire game. And that was probably one of the most, the healthiest games he was with consistent snaps. So I'm curious to see how they do. I know State is very high on, is it Josiah Victor, right? And when Thunder Dan throws out names, Thunder Dan's usually correct. Like he doesn't just give out names for charity. He's normally when he picks a name, he normally is on it. I just think State's going to be set up against the run. QB run game can be a little bit dicey, but if State can make them one-dimensional in any aspect, then the game flips in their favor a lot. And I really think AJ Richardson and Popo are two linebackers that is like in the first time State's had two of them that are really good at getting downhill against the run. We'll see how they do in pass coverage. I think Richardson actually graded out decently well in his career from where he was and now even last year in small sample size. I just think that him and Popo offered larger linebackers and run fits than what State had in the past with Caden Fordham and Sean Brown. Sean Brown was just undersized, like really good in space, but when it came to like a guy, somebody getting on him, he wasn't the best at shedding blocks or hitting the right run fit. And I think their safeties, I think with more experience, will also be able to help in that run fit aspect a little bit better with less mistakes, hopefully.
Well, here's a question for you guys. 'Cause I know the coach talk. It's always like the next game is the most important, right? Which I do believe that. But I also truly feel like, how sometimes like a game or two can define a whole season just from like a momentum standpoint, right? I feel like State is getting some like sneaky hype from maybe some media people. And also Dave himself, I think, kind of said not if, but when we win 10 games. So before I give like my prediction, do you guys truly feel like not just because it's the next game, but do y'all think that Virginia game can have like that kind of impact on the season as a whole, like getting off to a great start and kind of getting some momentum going? Like, what are y'all's thoughts about just the importance of that? I know it's the first game, but just that importance of that game overall for the outlook of the season.
Yeah, I would say definitely. I think being a conference game right out of the gate, the locker room thing, anyone who's ever played sports knows the confidence in the locker room, it's intoxicating. If you have a group of guys that believes in one another, they believe in the coaching staff, and you're all on the same page, you feel like you can take on anyone, maybe outside of like Alabama or Georgia, but you're going to feel great picking up a win on the road in a I wouldn't say hostile because they can't sell tickets for some reason. 11 wins and they can't sell tickets. What's going on up there in Charlottesville? Anyway, I think it has the ability to change, the gut feeling because you play on the road an SEC team, 2 weeks after that one. So confidence is what's the word? I lost my train of thought. Confidence is important. And so I think winning on the road, contagious. There you go. Confidence is super important. And so if you beat Virginia, I think all bets are off. Anything could be on the table after that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think it's a huge game for if you're serious about trying to go to Charlotte, and the way the schedule sets up, like, there's a world where that could happen. This game is a tone setter, but it's also just like the way those pieces are going to fit together. You really want to have this one, right? It's a conference game like we talked about. Louisville might be the best team on their schedule in the ACC. I think you have to get one of those two at a minimum to have any real chance. The last team to start 0-1 in the ACC and play in the title game was in 2013. That's not something that's going to happen very often. If you lose this game, you're under the gun then, right? You have to beat Louisville. Right? And Louisville, I think, is going to be a good team. Like, I think they're probably a better team than State. And you have to win that game. But if you come out here and you can beat Virginia, then you're in position where you don't have to win out essentially to get to Charlotte. So it sets you up beyond the confidence aspect, which is obviously super important. It also just kind of sets you up to have a chance to have a realistic result the rest of the way and still have your goals intact.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you guys that because I'm going to make my prediction now, and every one of you guys increased by one game. I'm going to continue the trend. I'm going 10-2. Like, that's truly what I was going to say before, and I'll look like the idiot when they finish 7-5. But I'm cool with that. I think they beat Virginia. I think they lose to Vanderbilt just because the SEC pass, I think, Grayson, you mentioned that, has not been kind to the Pack. And I think in true State fashion, we'll lose one game that we probably shouldn't lose. But I truly think they get off to a great start against Virginia, lose at Vanderbilt, SEC. And then, Alec, you mentioned Syracuse could be tough. You know way more than me. But I definitely think it's not a State season until you lose a game that you shouldn't lose. So I'm sure there'll be one of those in there. But you guys mentioned the schedule. And, Dar, I want to hear your thoughts on this. Like, everything I've heard is like this is like one of the easiest schedules in Power 5, right? So, like, when you guys were making your predictions, was how much of the schedule did y'all take into like consideration? in your prediction, or was that kind of just how you feel about the team overall? Like, what impact? I guess, do you think this sets up for State to have possible that special season because of the schedule and how it's who we're playing?
I think it does. I think so. I mean, this is kind of what I had written about last week, but when you talk about these teams at State's level, right, not sub-elite football teams that have had that season that we've all been trying to get to, right, whether it's 10 wins or what we used to call a New Year's Six Bowl or playing in the ACC championship or whatever, they've had some combination of staying healthy, having an easy schedule, and like we said, winning close games. Right. So I don't know what State's going to look like if they can sustain injuries or if that won't happen. Ideally, not. But you have the schedule part intact, right? You got that part checked. You go back to some of the other seasons where State was close and they played harder schedules, right? I mean, the Brennan Armstrong year, maybe not a great example, but they played Notre Dame that year. They played, I forgot the other team that was ranked, but this is definitely the first box is already checked for you on this one.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think that's one of the main reasons, like for my prediction. And again, I'm probably glass way too half full, but I think the schedule, like if there's ever a year, like it's got to be this year, in my opinion, or like it may not ever. I hate to say ever's a long time, but like if it's not now, then like when is that special season like gonna happen? Grayson or Drew, is there like a surprise game that Alec mentioned Syracuse? Like, is there like what do you think are the most difficult game or two, or is there like a sneaky game that you think could be difficult and trip State up?
I think Cal's going to be tough strictly because they have one of the premier quarterbacks in the ACC and probably the country. And anytime you have a premier quarterback, it gives you a chance. Hopefully, maybe their receivers are more like Roombas than actual like good good receivers. The Roomba joke is if you listen to Trinity Road's Lotcast, you would heard Alec call Cal's receivers last year Roombas, which was an excellent way of saying they're just terrible.
They were bad. Real
But
bad.
this year they're expected to have two good receivers this year. But I mean, if you looked at State's receiving core last year on paper, they were expected to have a couple like potential like quote unquote alphas, and they ended up being replacement level wide receivers. A lot of that was due to Justin Jolie getting a large target share and just the ball. TJ and throughout his whole career has spread the ball around more than kind of throw to one specific guy. But I just think Cal's quarterback. I think quarterback play can steal you games, and I just worry that Cal could be that just strictly because of how good that kid is at quarterback.
Hey, what's his name again? I've heard a lot about him. What's
I
his
just call
first
him
name?
JSK or JKS.
Yeah,
All right.
hard to pronounce.
Whatever three it is.
Did we lose Grayson?
Oh, what an awful time! What an awful time to freeze.
He's like he had something big time to say too, and his face is just
I think his Zoom went out when he was trying to pronounce his name.
It is Jaron Kiave.
Hey, what he said? I got Jaron Kiave.
We can hear you now.
Come on.
What was the last part of it? This is great. No editing here either. All right. We'll give Grayson a second to get back in. But Dart, to your point, you mentioned like quarterback play and how important you think it is like that you can like steal games, right?
Yeah.
Alec, question for you real quick. So obviously I think one of the main reasons I am excited about State this year is obviously CJ Bailey. I feel like if we're talking about players, that's like the first place we have to start with, right? Like, what do you think if everything goes great? Like, what do you see his like ceiling being this year? Like accolade wise, like looking forward to maybe like a future, NFL. Like, where do you see if everything goes right and he plays up his potential? Like, what do you think his ceiling is as a quarterback this year?
I mean, if he takes another significant step forward, and I think he did as a sophomore. I actually stumbled onto some old tape from his freshman season the other week and watched a couple of them, and you can tell watching that how much better he was as a sophomore. So if you get that again as a junior, I mean, this is a pretty stacked quarterback league, I think. There's some good ones out here. Some that aren't even being talked about that much. I am not solidified on the idea that CJ is like a top 4 quarterback in the ACC right now. But if he takes a big step forward here, and you get the other elements that you need in place, like I have questions on the receiving core, but if that stuff all comes together, he could definitely be, right up there at the end of the year as one of the best quarterbacks in the ACC, and in the running for a first team role, or probably at least on one of the top 2 or 3 teams. I like Darian Mensa a lot. I think he's really good. You mentioned JKS. It would be hard for me to be more impressed with some of the stuff that I saw watching him throw to those receivers that I think they were second in the country in drop rate. So it's like when I say I don't think that CJ is like a top 3 quarterback in the ACC, that's more of a compliment to the other players than it is a commentary on him. But I'm looking for that step forward from him this year because you saw it last year. The game looked like it was a lot slower for him. He made a lot fewer mental mistakes. I felt like saw the field better. You could tell that we talk about going from high school to college, the same way we talk about going from college to the NFL, right? Those windows are closing faster. The timing throws are everything's faster. It felt like he reached that speed as a sophomore. And now I just want to see like his mechanical growth translate to better accuracy kind of at all levels of the field. They brought in some big receiver targets this year, big as in physically big. I want to see him put those to work with some more accurate, more competitive deep balls when you get those one-on-ones. You're going to be throwing to a smaller guy over the middle this year than you have with Justin Jolie. So, you got to have that be more on target than it was a little bit erratic at times. So those are the steps for me, more mechanical than mental, I think, which is a good place to be coming out of the sophomore season. And if it happens, I think you can have a really, really awesome year and win some awards.
I think the number one thing I want to see from CJ Bailey is don't let one mistake snowball into multiple. I think all of his interceptions, but one, which I think happened against ECU, I think all of his interceptions but one came in 3 games. So like he just snowballed into turnovers after the first one, like Miami, Notre Dame, and I think it was Duke. Like those were all those 3 games were all but one of his interceptions came from, and it's just like it's like he felt the panic, and he felt like it's like every interception turned into I gotta make a play, and it just led to like snowballing. I think if he can eliminate it's okay to throw interceptions, like take chances, throw a couple picks. I just prefer your pick be an arm punt versus a 5-yard crosser that you throw behind the guy and it tips off his hand into the guy for a pick six. I mean, I still will die on the sword that the Duke guy was offsides and that game is completely different if that nonsense gets called. But you can't let that snowball into 3 more interceptions in a game that State was down by 7 going to the last drive before Duke busted a big run to score.
Yeah, our line, or I shouldn't say my line on CJ this year was he's proven that he's a quarterback you can win games with. Now he needs to be a quarterback that can win you games. State's last 2 years against Power 5 teams is 3-10 when it runs for less than 200 yards. So when he hasn't been supported with a strong run game, it hasn't won games. The only those 3 games are the Cal game, 2024, which he was awesome in, and then UNC and Florida State last year, which the defense played fantastic in both those games. So, yeah, I mean, I think that goes right into what you were saying, Drew. Like when the weight comes on his shoulders, you want to see that be a shining moment and not, I guess a crumbling moment or whatever you want to call it.
I think the thing that I really love about CJ Bailey, and you guys know way more about me of like like you said, mechanical things and all the football stuff. I just feel like he's such a state guy. And like maybe I'm looking at that too simple, but almost like Paul McNeil in basketball, like where these guys could have gone, not necessarily anywhere, but really almost anywhere in the country. And to have those guys like for 3 years and see like the passion he plays with and like how George talked about his like leadership, like I just really love that kid and I'm enjoy watching him for another year in a state jersey. Alec, if you feel like if he has like I know you mentioned there's a lot of great quarterbacks in ACC. One of my buddies sent me a text and a shout out Evan Murray that he feels like this quarterback draft class in general in college football could be like one of the best of all time. Obviously, some kids are coming back to college because in NIL instead of going, early to the league. Say CJ Bailey does have that year where he turns out to be, if not the first, maybe the second best quarterback in the NFL. One of those like special seasons, like where he is winning you games. Do you feel like that would maybe change your opinion of like the overall what state season could look like?
Yeah, I mean, I think at some point, kind of the thing, at some point, your offense is going to be one dimensional, right? Like you're not going to be out here being able to do whatever you want at all times. So at some point, you have to make plays with a one dimensional offense. Like that's going to happen to you during the season. That's the stuff that I think you want to see. And you mentioned the draft. Like CJ's got a lot of the measurables that the draft really likes. I'm not a draft expert. The NFL draft is actually my least favorite sporting event ever. But they have a lot of the potential, the things they look for that drive potential in a lot of the quarterbacks that they're looking at. So certainly like he could play his way into. I know what's his face from Texas A&M, the Jimbo Fisher, said he was going to be the number one pick. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see. I mean, I think it's a wide variety of outcomes left for me right now.
Jimbo might have got some of that Texas oil in his brain, man. Like he's going.
I think he was having Carter Finley Stadium flashbacks.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, he did watch Christian Ponder and EJ Manuel go top 15.
I'm not sure if those are the guys you want to be compared to, though.
No, I'm saying if those two guys can go top 15, maybe CJ Bailey can go top 5.
True. Hey, Darcy, real quick, as we'll get a little bit more into some football stuff here, like positions and some players and stuff. I think one of my biggest frustrations with state football, and again, I'm not a football coach, so is how often the receivers rotate. And sometimes I feel like, it's just not keeping maybe your best guys on the field and like feeding those guys the ball, right? I know this year's pretty much a whole new receiving core. Obviously, Keenan Jackson's back, but it's a lot of brand new receivers. Dar, do you see that rotation kind of staying this year? Or if not, like who are some guys you think that could really step up and have a special year in like the receiver room?
I don't see based on what they brought in and the numbers they brought in, I don't see it shrinking. I do think it's going to start rather large, not like crazy large. Like we're not going to see random walk-ons like we did years ago. But like I have a feeling that early on you're going to see a Tyron Warren, who I actually think I'm actually really high on him. I think he's going to actually have a rather large role strictly as the Anthony Smith. Hopefully that this version of Anthony Smith can actually catch. The state version, not the ECU version. He went to ECU and magically caught hands. But I think that same type player though, just absolute burner, but he has size. His contested catch rate and small sample was good, and I think his numbers would have been a lot more attractive had he played with a team and a quarterback that could throw worth a crap. Like he might as well had Jack Chambers as his quarterback last year. Like that's how awful like his tape is in terms of like the quarterback throwing. I think a guy like Chance Robinson, I think he might get a chance early because, like, again, that's a talented guy. Like, you don't accidentally end up top 150 in your class or whatever he was. I think JoJo Trader gives you more upside. I hope he has the season that State was expecting for Noah Rogers, as he was a similar type recruit. And then I think the Appalachian State transfer Dozier, a lot of people really like him. He's got good size, but he was also ranked in the same kind of realm and area as Terrell Anderson was. Like he started at Arkansas, a 4-star recruit, made his way to App, became productive, and App's offense really was not great last year. Like their quarterback play was questionable and shaky, to say the least. So I think State's got a lot of upside. They just don't have a lot of proven guys outside of Victor Snow but I think they have a lot of talent, and I think they have more variety than they've had in the past. They have a bunch of different guys that can do a bunch of different things. where everybody kind of the last couple of years were kind of like copy paste type receivers. Like you had Keenan Jackson playing 93% of the slot last year. He's not a slot guy. So I'm curious to see what it's like to have a true slot. They have options at tight end. I don't know how much Vanderploeg we're going to get based on his health. I think State really likes Douglas. I thought Douglas flashed a little bit in the bowl game for Justin Jolie, but I just think early on you're going to see a rotation. But I hope that even in the Virginia game, you have a rotation. If a couple guys are running hot, let them run until they can't breathe, and then get them off and rotate the other guys on. I don't want to see like every couple plays, 15 guys are running off, 15 guys are running on. Like I'm cool with doing a series. And so I think the talent's enough. You can do a series and you're not going to have a huge drop off. But if a guy's running hot, you got to keep him on the field. You can't take him off.
Alec, how do you feel about the receiving room? Like, do you see a guy stepping up and being like, maybe my videos going out too? This is why you podcast on $100 Chromebook. So like we're all just falling apart. But hey, we keep going on the Ball Takes podcast. We don't stop for nothing. Hard, tough together. But Alec, do you see any like receivers really stepping up and having like develop coming into a go-to guy, or do you see a lot of like parity throughout that room?
Victor Snow is my guy in that room. He's the guy that I think he's going to have the breakout season. He's one of, I think there's three guys on the whole team that I really feel like are going to break out this year, and he's definitely probably at the top of that list. The thing I like about him is his skill set is as a separator from coverage, which is something that he had a little bit of last year. But like you mentioned, Drew, like Keenan Jackson was playing a lot of the positions that you're going to see Victor Snow come into this year. So, State's number one most used pass play of the whole year last year was Y cross. And that crossing route that runs through that play, it's usually at about 10 yards. It's what that play is built around. And that was Keenan Jackson's route last year. Keenan Jackson, I like Keenan Jackson. I think he's a good player, but he's not the separator on that kind of route that Victor Snow is going to be. And so I think you have like something here, like you mentioned, a true slot, like that kind of guy. He can activate that play a little bit more for you, right? Typically against man coverage, you're going to be running away from outside leverage on a play like that. He's a guy that can create space, similar to how KC did in those situations. I think I think he becomes a go-to guy, especially without somebody at tight end that I think is really reliable. And you could put him on the other side also. Usually on the front side of that play, you get like a speed out. And what you need to watch for with Snow is every one of these little outs and things they run, they're going to have a double move off of it, right? Because that was a Kurt Roper special. They love to do that stuff. You're going to see that from him. He hits top speed real quick. You're going to get some explosive plays out of him. So I think he fits really well into what they want to do. And then when you talk about Warren and Dozier, I think those are guys that you can plug in on the outside and yes, know them pre-snap. If you get the corner matchup that you like, they're huge. Warren kind of reminded me of like CJ Riley. Like he was a big, tall guy that can run a straight line super, super fast. I'm kind of like waiting to see if there's more skill set to it than that. But I don't know that Dozier is really like a coverage separator either. They brought him in to be big on the outside, right? We all know how much success State had with that a handful of years ago, with some of the best players Dorn's ever had in the program. So they want that. They want that mismatch on the outside that you can ID pre-snap and take it if it's there. And that's where I think Dozier could possibly make an impact. We'll have to see if it comes together. But I don't think State has elite talent in the receiver room, but I think they have players that fit into what they want to do, like skill set wise, what their ideal traits are, fits into the type of offense State was really running last year. Maybe sans tight end. Tight end I'm worried about. I don't know that they have what they need at tight end right now. I don't really buy Douglas as that type of role. He had two nice plays in the bowl game, but both of them were kind of just like within the structure of the offense against the zone coverage. Like I don't really see him as a guy that's going to create separation like Justin Jolie did, or make something happen in space. So, that it's a concern, but I think you can see the thought process that went into it to get the guys that they got.
So he might be more like a Trent Penix type tight end more than a Justin Jolie type tight end.
I mean, they got to have someone that's going to run routes, right? There's not a whole lot of tape on Preston Douglas, but I feel confident saying he's not going to be Justin Jolie, right? I mean, he's not going to be that. So I like Plug, but you got to be honest, like he hasn't been healthy and he hasn't played a whole lot of football in his life, so there's probably going to be some growth still left to do there. But the raw ability is there. That's kind of like a lottery ticket where if you hit on it, like it's pretty sweet, right?
I'm always intrigued by Grayson. Welcome back, baby.
Can y'all hear me and see me?
We can see you and hear you, man. Welcome back.
That'll be the last time I ever try and say Cal's quarterback's name on air. I guess they bombed my Wi-Fi. The algorithm is nothing to be messed with, apparently. I apologize.
Can you give us the full name again just for everyone listening? Hope it doesn't go out.
Reluctantly, I will try this again. It is Jaron Kiave Sagapolatile. That's how you say
it. Okay. Well, to y'all's point, I'm always intrigued by, like, whether it's football or basketball, like a guy at a lower level that, like, transfers up to, like, a higher level and seeing how that, like, translate. I personally love some of the guys that transfer up because, one, I feel like they play with, like, something to prove, like there's maybe an extra chip on their shoulder, where sometimes you get these other high major guys just, like, bouncing around, like, trying to find their spot. But to your point, like, if you haven't done it before at that level, I know some of them are young, you might just not be that guy. Not saying some of our guys aren't, but I love the mid-major guys who, like, transfer up and seeing how that translate. Another name that came to my brain, since we're talking about some of the skill guys, if we look at the running back room, Grayson, if you want to take this first, do you feel like Duke Scott will be, like, the true workhorse this year, or do you see a lot of, like, rotation in the running back room, like splitting carries between Gauss and Scott?
I do think Duke is going to get the brunt of the workload, but I think we're going to see a lot more of Davion Goss than I think we know of right now. And one of the better names or nicknames, I guess I should say, on the team, Bullet. If you got the nickname Bullet, you better be the realest of deals. So not even just like a short yardage situation. I think, him playing for Carolina the last couple of years, they've been a complete shit show, total dumpster fire. So we really didn't even get like a true picture of what he's capable of. And I think Kurt Roper and CJ and even Duke Scott intend to figure that out. So I'm pretty high on Davion Goss. I think he's going to be a super valuable asset to this backfield. But if you're looking at primary workhorse, it's going to be Duke Scott.
Hey, so with Alec or Dar, one of you guys, so Jonathan Paylor, right? I think he's an intriguing name that, we have these guys every year that, what are they going to do? What are they going to be, right? But obviously a lot of talent. Do you guys see him having a role this year, whether it's in the backfield or out wide or kick returner or punt returner? Is that a guy that you think can make an impact this year, or maybe still a year away from that? What are y'all's thoughts on Paylor this year contributing?
It's hard to say, right? I mean, they wanted him to have a role last year. It felt like, he got a lot of reps early in the camp before his injury. I really have no idea, to be honest. Like, I don't want to talk out of my ass and say something that I have no idea if it's true, right? Like, I really don't know what their plan is for him. I always kind of saw him as a guy that could do like a low volume KC role, like they had him working on during his freshman season, where you could really line him up out of the backfield and run like a full complement of run plays, but you could also motion him out and work him through routes as well. Maybe there's like a low. That's a problem role to deal with if you're if you're an offense or if you're a defense. So there's something like that out there in theory that I think could be the future for him. Maybe it's just as a running back. He's certainly a freak athlete, right? So maybe. I mean, I really have no idea, but I think that's kind of the thought process, maybe.
I think the positive news is 2 years in a row we've heard in fall camp, we've heard his name quite a bit. I don't know if it's manufactured, but I feel like his name has popped up even again this year coming off the ACL injury. I feel like his role, like State's gonna find ways to get on the field. I think a really fun package would be him either at running back or as like a jet sweep guy with Will Wilson in the backfield. Like you're really gonna put a lot of pressure on the defense to decide like is State gonna hand it to him or is he gonna run it? And then like if he actually will hand it off a couple times, like even on 4th and 1, if that's like in the back, like you're gonna put the defense in so much stress having to think about like my perfect package for this would be, because last year they ran a walk on that the whole world knew was never touching the ball. But it, like, you put Will Wilson, Duke Scott behind him, and Jonathan Taylor off as a jet sweep guy, and you put the defense in just a ton of thought of, is the bowling ball getting the ball, is the fourth and will getting the ball, or is the guy that runs a 4-3, 4-4 getting the ball on the outside that we got to try to pursuit to. Like, there's this, you just would put a lot of, and then add in the fact that, I mean, granted, I think like the urban legend now is, can Will Wilson actually throw? I don't think you make it this far with the inability to complete a 5-yard pass. But like another, like, part of that package could be like a quick like out with Taylor and out of the backfield, like a swing pass, and just like stuff like that could be a fun package to really keep defensive coordinators up at night, because you're like, on 3rd and short and 4th and short, there's a quarterback that is getting the ball that you can't stop, and a receiver that, or running back that, if he gets the ball in space, could turn this 4th and 1 to a touchdown for 50 yards. So I think that could be like a fun little package that I would put him in.
Yeah, Drew,
honestly.
Drew, your words are music to Kenton's ears. He has been salivating over the idea of basically using Taylor as like a gadget player, at least to start, because Alex said it exactly right. We just don't know. We haven't seen him on the field. He was injured last year. He has this pedigree, sure, but until you see it, you don't really know. And I think carving out a role for him is going to take some time, whether that's in the backfield or, I don't know, maybe behind Victor Snow at the slot. But the gadget ability of Jonathan Taylor, if the speed is what they say it is, I think you got to find at least some way to get him on the field at some point. So Kenton wants to call this the payday package. Anytime you see 14 on the field, it'll be some payday.
Yeah, you opened a great box with this, guys. The Will Wilson play is power, right? Where you're pulling the guard,
yeah,
leading with the back, right? And so when that happens, right, the linebackers have to flow to that play. One of the easiest ways to create conflict in a defense in a heavy package is running the jet motion opposite the flow the linebackers have to take, right? So, you can really kind of use that, and you can run the same play, right? I mean, you just run the same play that you were running, but you just have that element to it.
Yep.
And then every other time, or every 5th time or whatever, if it's not 4th and 1, right, you give Jonathan Taylor the ball, right? And it adds a whole element to that one individual play that that was like the only play they ran with him for probably 75% of the season. They actually called one pass play for him in the UNC game, one. But for the most part, it was just that. But you start adding those little elements to it, right? And it changes the dynamic for the defense and where their eyes have to be. Like, that's a great point. That's a great thought.
I don't know if Jonathan Taylor's going to listen to the Ball Takes podcast, but he better be a fan, because he just got maybe the longest segment of the night, and we're not even sure what his role is going to be. But that was electric. That was great. So, look, before we move, talk a little bit about the defense. Just overall, let's talk about give the big fellas up front just a little respect here. Do you guys see the O-line being a strength of the team this year? Concern, just overall, like, how are you guys feeling about the big boys up in the trenches this year?
Personally, I think the O-line might be the most underrated group on the team. O-line is very, very much a thankless job in its entirety. No one really talks about them unless they're getting flagged for holding or something like that. But, I think State did a good job addressing what they needed out of the portal. Jamarian McCrimmon was an all AAC guy, ECU, first teamer. Anytime you can add a first teamer in any conference, I think you take your chances on that. Retaining Spike Souls and Teague Anderson, both really big deals, both solid players. I think Spike is only still scratching the surface of what he's going to be as a center at NC State. I think he could be an all-timer when it's all said and done. Picking up Cruz from Texas. You have a couple other guys kind of trying to rise up through the ranks, like Mooker Bill, Rico Jackson, Kanan Smith. I think the O-line is going to be pretty steady. And honestly, I know we lost Jacarius Peak, but I don't know if they're going to take that big of a step backwards this season.
Yeah, I've become a believer in this group quite a bit. It was a question mark to me. The guards were a question mark to me coming into the season, but something happened that kind of changed my mind on that, and that was Moogerville winning the job. I thought his tape last year, the highs of it were better than any other guard except Spike. He's got power as a player. Like, it's in there. The reason why he didn't see the field as much is because he was a bit of a mess with a lot of other elements of the position. But you look at, like, the things he didn't do well. Or you look at the things that Kanan Smith didn't do well. You look at the things that Jamarian McCrimmon didn't do well at ECU, and all of those things are coachable, right? You're not putting a guy out there who's getting flattened every play, right? I mean, these are coachable elements. Like McCrimmon has got to get his hands down. Moogerbill is fully needs a better technique on any kind of kick out block, like that kind of stuff. Kamen Smith was notorious for chasing, what you call a reduction from the defensive line, which is where his man is bumping outside the tackle. That's how you give up penetration. Like that stuff has to not happen. But all that stuff's coachable. And I think Garrett Tujay, I think he's one of the most underrated assistant coaches in the entire conference. He has done a really, really good job with this unit for several years, and it's been largely ignored by a lot of people. But the team that they had in 2024, that was one of Doran's best offensive lines with Anthony Belton and Zeke Correll. And last year's honestly overperformed my expectations. And I was really hoping it would be Moogerville and Smith because I think those are the two highest potential guys of the four that were competing at guard, and they both won the job. So that's awesome. And then Spike to me is going to be great. Like he's so far ahead of your average young offensive lineman mentally. Like he just sees everything so well for a guy that young. So I'm excited. And I think if the offensive line is good, there's no reason the whole offense can't be good, right? Because the other pieces are largely there in places. So,
Alec, I feel like you're talking yourself into 10-2. I feel like you want to just say.
Well, we haven't gotten to the defensive front yet, guys.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you, man.
No, I was gonna say he kind of took my point that I think as long as Garrett Tujay's the coach, I feel confident that State's O-line's gonna figure it out. I just think he's just such a great coach. And I think it was an IPS podcast. I think it was Alex G or Philip mentioned that like there's a noticeable recruiting flip that they've done on the offensive line. Like he's just recruiting like behemoths, like massive individuals, and then like teaching them how to play compared to having undersized guys trying to pray that Thunder can add 40 pounds to them and then go with their technique. He's just getting like big, massive, huge individuals and then teaching them the technique that they need to be successful. And I just think like having large individuals, like even if you don't have if you're still raw, like sometimes like you can't just beat being strong and being huge. Like it's hard to sometimes so a lot of the O linemen get beat because they get displaced or thrown, right? It's not always like on the outside, yes, they get like run past, but a lot of times on the inside, they just get thrown out of the way. And if you just have a guy that's huge and strong, they can make up for like the lack of just getting displaced and tossed like out the club. So I just think that like his recruiting flip of like the players he's targeting in the portal and in high school ranks, like State's got a good amount of guys coming up from high school, their recruiting classes that are starting to enter the two deep that are, I think State likes for a future. So I think like they're building depth without having them being forced. Like they're not having to rely on them. They're able to kind of like slowly but surely work them in. Like I think Rico Jackson's a great swing offensive lineman. Like you don't necessarily want him starting at a necessity, but if he's like your swing guy coming in for like blows on a drive or like a guy's nicked up, like you feel good about that compared to him being your all-time starting guard. I think he's a good like extra offensive lineman at the moment with potential to eventually be a really good starter.
I think it's pretty cool. We got Spike blocking for Duke and Bullet. Like that just sounds like we're gonna be able to like run the ball. All right, so let's move over. Hey, Gob, welcome, brother. Hey, fellas, Ben Duncan just hopped in. That's our buddy Gob. He's a Pack lifer. He had a first day back at school today, man. So he's here blessing us, though.
I laid in bed for a long time. I'm just gonna say that.
This podcast is probably like a big old cigarette for you right now.
Yeah, for real. It is. But appreciate y'all hopping on. I mean, I listen to literally every NC State media podcast I can listen to. So really do appreciate y'all hopping on. I really do. This is awesome.
Hey man, thanks for having us.
God, you're supposed to say you only listen to Trinity Road Times and Locked On Wolfpack.
Yeah. That's it. That's my only two. Hey, I got a long drive to Fuqua every single day, so I got time to listen.
So let's flip sides of the ball real quick. So, Alec, I could tell you really wanted to talk about the defense. What do you see just overall, like, what do you see as strengths of defense, maybe like position groups that you do feel good about? What are your concerns about the defense as a whole? Like, how are you I think offense sells tickets, but defense can win you games. So, like, how are you feeling about the defense, like, going to this year?
I think you might see it flip from where it was last year. Last year State's run defense was pretty good. Early in the season they missed a lot of tackles at the second level, and it led to a lot of explosive plays that really inflated the opponent numbers. But generally, like they fit the run really well. The defensive line was pretty good against the run, and the secondary was a complete dumpster fire for most of the season. We heard a lot about all the injuries that occurred, of course, but to be honest, most of the starters weren't good to begin with, right? J.J. Johnson was not a playable
Awful.
player coming from Georgia State. Ronnie Royal really struggled. I think the two best safeties on the team by the end of the year were Tristan Teasdale and Assad Brown, two guys you were not even expecting to play. But kind of the silver lining of that is that all those guys have reps now, right? So King Mack comes in, he should be an instant impact player. I thought Assad Brown put a lot of really good stuff on tape last year. Was he perfect? No. But he was good for what you were expecting to get from him. I think you can say the same thing for Teasdale. He made probably more mistakes in coverage. There's a huge play against Georgia Tech that I felt like it was his responsibility. But he played his butt off, man. I mean, he was in the box. He was doing all sorts of stuff that you just don't typically expect. What is he, like 5'10"? Safety who's maybe like 150 dripping wet to be able to be willing to do. So I think that nickel, those are good spots. Um, I'm not as sold on Brian Nelson as everybody else is, but we'll see how that plays out. I don't think corner is going to be a big disaster or anything. I'm just not sold it's going to be necessarily like an elite spot for State, but we'll see. It could be wrong. My concern really comes in the interior, the defensive line, with essentially zero depth, right? And then you got Victor. I guess Katron Evans is back as well, so that adds some nose tackle depth for you. But
Does he
I think
count as one defensive lineman or two single handedly? Just because, like, are we
He's got
counting
some
him as his
girth.
all?
I would love it if it was two. I mean, that'd be helpful, right? He could play three tech also, right?
Who's larger, him or Urendis Bryant?
Oh yeah, that was a
Lord.
large man there. Yeah. I've talked a lot about how much I like Joseph Adedire. He's probably one of my favorite players on the team. He's really good. People are going to learn that he's really good. But on the interior, I'm concerned about this Virginia game because I'm concerned they're going to be able to run the football. I think Victor is going to be a good player eventually. Like he projects really well long term. He's extremely strong. I think there's still some growing to do there. I thought there was some instances last year where he was kind of slow off the line. If you're going to get like an outside zone run, like a horizontal stretch run of any kind, like where you're going to have to be running with that, right? That's where you don't want to have that happen. So you kind of look at those things. Say you ask these players to what would you call like a modern two gap technique, which is really more of a physical technique as a defensive lineman, right? You got to be able to win that kind of thing. So it's a question mark for me, and I just hate that they're going up against such an experienced offensive line and a running quarterback in the first game of the year. I'd much prefer if it was the Virginia team of last year or a Virginia team that couldn't run the ball but had a good quarterback. Yeah, I mean those are my concerns. Really, is just up front and really on the interior and kind of seeing how that plays out with such little depth and some questions about experience as well.
Dar, Grayson, God, what are thoughts on the defense this year? Alex, that was great, man. Appreciate that, by the way. I feel like I just got my state football preview in like 2 minutes. That was great.
I got something. I think kind of opposite of the interior D line. I think depth wise, the secondary has a lot of bodies. Now the thing I don't think anybody knows is what exactly is going to be the rotation. I think King Mack's going to be one of the safeties. Brian Nelson's going to be probably cornerback one. The other three spots, the other cornerback, nickel, and safety, I mean, I think it's probably going to be a rotation. Jackson Vick played nickel last year. Assad Brown played nickel and safety last year. They went out and got Andre Evans from Georgia. Heard things about Caden Gordon, Jared Sensabaugh. Like, there's a lot of options. I genuinely don't know if anybody knows exactly what they're going to do to start off the season at least. But I'm really intrigued with the secondary, and I think it could be a very, very good group.
Yeah, if you flip a coin, you might get Jamil. Jamil Johnson back one of these weeks. If you flip a coin, put however that ruling's going to go.
I thought you were
Yeah,
talking Jamel Hill. I was like, what?
Hey, she's going in front of the judge next week to get some eligibility. So
Yeah.
I'm not high on Johnson, to be honest. If he doesn't get cleared, I feel like it doesn't move the needle for me. But that's just what I see.
it'd be a good security blanket if one of the
Yeah.
young guys isn't good, because I mean, he had his moments of good and moments of bad, but at the end of the day, he put his nose in there and would hit somebody. Which, after watching what's the guy that was at Graves a couple years ago at Carolina that was scared to tackle a shadow. Like, it's nice to see. Like, I feel like Dave always has corners for the most part. There's Aiden White at moments looked like he was scared to hit somebody. But for the most part, State's corners usually always get in there and get their nose on the ball. Which, if you're playing back in the day when you played for Tony Gibson, if you didn't want to tackle, you weren't going to see the field. But yeah, I think we're going to realize how much down the stretch, how much Marshall covered up. But I think for the most part, I think Brian Nelson is going to be serviceable. I think those guys are going to be serviceable. And I think a lot of State secondary busts last year were at the safety position with the was it quarters? Like, when they finally ditched quarters, like, it's amazing how much better the secondary started playing. It's like he simplified so many things with all the injuries, and like they learned that the simpler the better. So once they went simple, they figured it out. So my hope is defensively with the run and the pass that last year taught Elliott a lot about his defense, and even though now he has more guys that fit what he wants to do, I hope that he'll be quicker to make adjustments in game and in other games based on his personnel and how they play. Like, don't be hard set on, we're gonna run this, even though we don't have anybody that can do it, but we're gonna run this because this is how my defense works. And once he made that adjustment, like, State got so much better down the stretch. So I'm hoping that he learned from that last year to put forward to this year, even though we actually do have pass rushers this year, which we did not have last year. Like, Harsh and Sloan were really good in the run, but struggled with finishing sacks and stuff like that in the pass game. Where I think Dyson and Dixon are going to be really good at getting to the quarterback, but might be targeted a lot in the run game. So State's kind of got to figure that out and hope that maybe Shirley can help on that end with helping Dyson kind of get off blocks. And if anything, half the time they just got to get in the way, so let a linebacker flow. Like, you don't always have to make the play. Sometimes you just got to reroute them into your help. Like, so they got to, if he sets an edge every time and the guy reroutes and the linebacker misses a tackle, I can live with that. You just can't continue to get pinned and give up the edge. Just make sure linebackers and your safeties and corners have to work even harder to make the run fit.
I can't believe Caden Fortin's actually going. I feel like he's gonna be one of those guys for us that just played for like 10 years in college. Like, like Perry Ellis played basketball at Kansas, I feel like, for 20 years. I feel like Caden Fortin was gonna be that for us. He was just gonna be a Pat guy for like 10 years.
Well,
Grace,
the bad thing is his knee exploded literally game 5.
Yeah.
He got better and better.
One game away from qualifying for a red shirt the year before.
Yeah.
Grace, I didn't mean to cut you off, man. I'm sorry. What were you about to say?
No, you're good. I was going to say, Drew threw me the alley-oop talking about pass rush. I think for me, that's the single most important question mark I have. I think the secondaries could be a net positive. I mean, linebackers are kind of a question mark too. You have two guys that didn't play for State last year, and Hopo Aguirre is experienced, but he was kind of a rotational guy down at Miami. Now he's looked at as the guy here at State. But pass rush, I mean, the sack numbers for State were low last year. QB hurries, QB hits were both low last year. The turnover margin for NC State on the whole was not really great last year. And the front end is going to affect the back end. If you can't get to the quarterback, you're going to give guys like Prabula, for example. I think he's not good as a passer, but if you allow him the opportunity to extend a play and improvise, I think we're going to find ourselves in some hot water. So getting to the quarterback and finishing in the backfield, that is going to be so far important if defense is to take a couple steps forward this season.
All right, so real quick, let's end it on this. This has been great, by the way. I'm interested that you guys know way more than me about like the personnel and all that stuff. Are there any guys on either side of the ball that you see that maybe we're not talking about? Injuries are going to happen in football that we're not talking a lot about right now. That you could see, when we get to end of October or November, could like play a pivotal role in the season this year. Alec, what do you got? Any names for us, man? He's smiling over there. He's got like a 10 for us.
Yeah, man. The summer before 2020, not this season, but the one before it, State picked up a guy out of the transfer portal from Texas Tech whose name is Joseph Adedi-Ray. And if you go back and you watch his tape at Texas Tech, it's worth your time. He is a good football player. The only problem he's had is he can't stay healthy. And that's a legitimate risk this year, but he is a really, really good fit for exactly what they want at that position, right? So he'll play the same position that Sebastian Harsh played, which is the defensive end. That's going to align to the wide side of the field. They ask a lot of that player. That guy's got to be a pass rusher. He's going to flex inside, right? When they move into, your odd spacing fronts, which are like your 3 down fronts, right? He's going to flex inside in those. He's going to have some level of explosiveness to be able to be effective as a pass rusher, and he's going to have power to be able to do a lot of things they want him to do against the run. He's got both of those things. He plays with such good technique that he ends up playing a lot bigger than he actually is. I think he only measures out like 265 or something like that. But there's some great clips of him from the Miami game at the end where he's winning reps against Markel Bell, who's 340 pounds, 80 pounds heavier than the guy. So there's a lot there from him. He's not the twitchy pass rusher that Harvey Dyson is, but he's got a great get off. I mean, he explodes off the line, and that does two things for you, right? Obviously, it's beneficial as a pass rusher, and he's got a really good rip move also that he used in the Memphis game, one of the TFLs that he got there. That's a strength of his, but it also allows you to stunt really effectively, right? So we were talking about pass rush in general earlier. And pass rush doesn't just come down to the defensive ends. That's an everybody thing, right? And Elliott's going to come out with all this crazy crap that he runs all the time. Right? A lot of times when those stunts and things don't work, it's because the penetrator on the stunt, not even the guy who's coming around the edge, doesn't get any penetration. And then the double team that comes together on that player can release and the tackle can get back to the edge. If you get penetration off that, it's a heck of a lot harder to do that. Well, this is a guy that can do that because he has a great get off of the line of scrimmage. So he's a versatile defensive end that can be effective against a lot of different things, right? They'll ask him to do like what's called a heavy tech, which the Sebastian Harsh was pretty good at. They'll ask him to do a lot of things, and I think he can do them all. He's a really good player, and as long as he stays healthy, people are going to know his name.
Love that.
I got one. Obviously I wasn't here for the offensive talk, but I think Vander Plug is kind of like the home run hit, but I think Hunter Providence is going to have a big role this year. I think Cody Hardy, I think he was a little bit of an unsung hero last year, that inline blocking tight end. I think Hunter Providence is going to have a major impact on State's success this year. So that's my sleeper. I mean, he is being talked about, but he's not going to be flashy. He's not going to have the stats. He might catch a couple passes, but I think he's going to maul some dudes in the run game for sure.
Cody Hardy was sneaky in the pass game last year.
He was a dog. I loved him. He was a dog.
He also started an entire fight with the Cowboys in the joint practice the other day. I saw that.
I did see that.
Up. I'll give you one from each side. So my offensive, I'm gonna go back to Tyron Warren. I just think he's going to find success because, like I said, you just have a guy that if he's on the field, you're 4 verts and launching it deep. And then defensively, I'm gonna go with Sterling Dixon. I just think he's going to I just think his pedigree and like skill. I think him being in the Red Hitler role will be successful. Like he's gonna come in and just rush the passer. I mean, we heard a lot about Cody Crunk. I just don't. I don't even know about him. Even like back in the high school days, like was he a recruit? Is he one of these random walk-ons? That I know that sounds bad to say. I just the portal's made it hard for me to track high school recruiting unless it's like a big name that State lands.
He was a solid 3-star edge.
I guess he was a 3-star, but I mean he's strong as an ox. But I think State's got some options to go with, as Alex G called it on the IPS podcast, the NASCAR package, where State just lines up 4 pass rushers across the line, and sends them after the quarterback with whatever other exotic blitz they're going to do. So I think Sterling Dixon gives them some opportunities to bump like a Shirley or a Data Ray inside and put him opposite of Dyson and really try to just get after the quarterback on obvious passing downs. I think if they can be successful in the Red Hibbler role, that it'll be good for them.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off of Drew with Sterling Dixon. I have this extremely non-analytical take. If you can take a guy from a Nick Saban or a Kirby Smart defense, I think you take that guy. And so Sterling Dixon,
pretty good take.
Obviously, haven't seen him on the field yet either, but the only thing I do know about him, crazy motor. This guy is like relentless in the pass rush. I know Dave Dorn's even name dropped him a couple times in the preseason media. So sign me up from Sterling Dixon. I think him and Harvey Dyson, I'm hoping they can be hell in a shell because we certainly need that pass rush. And on the offensive side, I'm going to go with Davion Dozier, the wide receiver from App. And I bumped into CJ Bailey in Charlotte in ACC kickoff. And he said it on the podium, and he kind of lit up when he said, Davion Dozier's a guy to watch out for. And I asked him, like, off the record, and I said, so what is it about Davion Dozier that's different? He said, bro, just trust me. I'm just going to leave it there. So CJ's words, we're going to run with that. I'm going to take some Davion Dozier stock.
Grayson, I feel like you need to get a shirt that just says, like, bro, just trust me. And then, you
put
can
the Locked On logo
off,
on and everything. And Locked On Pack merch.
We'll have to workshop that.
Just trust me. All right, so that's all I had. I don't know, guys, if y'all got anything else y'all want to bring up or mention, Dar, if you got anything, or Gob. That's really all I had. I mean, that was great stuff. You guys got anything else?
Apologize again for JKS bombing my Wi-Fi. I don't know how long I was out.
I was going to ask, can you pronounce his name one more time for us?
Jaron Kiave Sagapolatile. That's how you say it.
That's the highlight of the night.
That's good.
I studied for Nico Iamaleava a couple years in Tennessee, too. I got a lot of cred with the Tennessee fans for nailing that one.
You could give me 15 tries, and I couldn't get that one.
Yeah. All right, so look, hey guys, before we go, if y'all will one more time, Grayson, we'll start with you, man. Like, me and Dar, God, we really appreciate you, like, coming on, man, giving us your insight, really just giving up your time to, like, come on and just talk ball with us. You want to just kind of shout out what you're doing real quick for everybody else listening, and kind of, just refresh everybody what you do.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm extremely happy with the opportunity. Anytime you guys need anything from me, I'm of assistance. So reach out anytime. I'll come on here anytime. I'm more than happy to do it. But yeah, my name is Grayson Boone. I run the Locked On Wolfpack podcast 5 days a week during the week. We'll do a post-game live show after each football game. You can find us on YouTube. That's our primary function. You can find us on Twitter, LO_Wolfpack. Myself and my co-host is Kenton Gibbs. If you've never heard Kenton talk, he's worth the price of admission alone. The price of admission is free, but you should probably pay to listen to him talk anyway. He is an absolute hoot. But we have a blast doing it, man. We're happy to do stuff like this all the time, and we're just ready for some NC State football.
Dude, great job fighting through the Wi-Fi troubles too, man, at the beach. Like, now you're a real one for coming back on after that, so thank you.
I'm exercising some real think and do. I'm running a hotspot off of my brother-in-law's phone right now, so I hope it's working. I hope you can hear me, but
we can.
Oh, absolutely. Alec, real quick, man, just like Grayson, man, appreciate everything you brought, man. Like, you got some real football knowledge. So bringing that X and O side of things, man, you just want to shout out real quick kind of who you write for and all that stuff?
Yeah, my name is Alec Lauer. I was the founder of TrinityRoadTimes.com. You can find us at exactly that website, TrinityRoadTimes.com. You can subscribe for free, so check us out. We write about a lot of different stuff. We have a weekly podcast called The Lotcast, named everything after parking lots and roads, because that was the theme. So that's what we went with. And we're on episode, I think, 108 now or something like that. So we're just starting to figure out how podcasts work. And check us out. Yeah, TrinityRoadTimes.com. And I really appreciate you guys having us on. It was great to meet everybody. It was great to meet you as well, Grayson. You guys do a phenomenal job at Locked On.
Thank you, man.
Really, really great show there. So definitely check that out if you haven't yet. It's definitely something you should be listening to. And anytime you guys want to talk football, basketball, anything, just let me know. I'm happy to be here.
And real quick for Alec, I'll speak for Alec too. If you're looking for any scheme talk, there's no better place than Alec Lauer and Trinity Road Times. Promise you. You'll learn so much. And Alec, I think you do a great job of putting everything in layman's terms too. There's a lot of technical jargon, but
Absolutely.
you do a phenomenal job at explaining it to the common fan. I know it's not just me. A ton of people appreciate you, and you guys do a phenomenal job.
Absolutely.
Agree.
Thank you,
Yeah.
man. I appreciate that.
Alec, don't forget to plug that you guys also have a paid Discord, right? That you guys post a lot of stuff in.
We do, yeah. You can join our member chat on Patreon. You can access it. Actually, I don't know if you want to include this or not, but we just moved our site hosting, and I haven't put the link in yet. But there's not. You can access it through the Trinity Tides Patreon. It's $3 a month. You can get a 7-day free trial. You can cancel anytime you want, and we just have a group where we talk about state and share some additional clips and analysis of the football, men's basketball, women's basketball, and baseball as well.
That's awesome. Well, hey, fellas, next time y'all come on, you got to cut your hair. All right, we can't be having y'all showing.
Hey, I got
showing
hair.
us up.
I got hair.
Yeah, but not for real, man. Y'all are both like great at what you do, and for real, like thank y'all so much, man. It's much appreciated. You guys get up your time and coming on tonight with us. So for real, thank you, and hopefully we'll see you guys out of the game. And like, let's definitely try to talk again soon.
Hey Trey, if we go 10-2, I'll buzz my head. That's a promise.
All right.
You heard it here.
Record
You
on the
can't
podcast. Record it.
You can't see me because my computer sucks. I'm shaking. I'm air shaking my computer screen right now. Let me see your hands so I know it's real. Act like you're shaking. All right, everyone saw that.
I'm in.
All right, fellas. Hey, y'all have a great tonight, man. We'll talk soon for sure, okay?
All right.
Absolutely.
See you, fellas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See y'all.
Good.
Let's see. Hold on. Is Steve and Reynolds Hall, please unmute your mics right now.
What's going on?
Fellas. Hey, this is highlight. This is big time material. Two of the biggest, most loyal, passionate, great guys, NC State fans I know. How are we doing tonight, fellas? Welcome to the Ball Takes podcast.
I'm ready for it.
Hey, you win the shiniest award, man. That thing is crispy.
And if I'd have known your camera wouldn't have been on, I'd have logged in earlier.
Well, dude, I'm half contemplating we're not starting over, but oh well, they don't need to see me anyway. Reynolds, what's the word, man? You doing all right?
Chilling, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, that Phillies hat's terrible, by the way.
Yeah, I made sure to wear it for you guys tonight.
It's a sick hat, but it's terrible. All right, so look, real quick, before we actually talk some football, if it's cool with you guys, I just want to talk some like NC State memories. Because like out of everyone I know, you two guys are probably the most like loyal, well-traveled like State fans. All right. So first question, Steve, this is for you. Can we get the backstory behind like the ice cream and cheaters on Saturday morning? Can you share that with the podcast or no?
Well, so the ice cream started basically every year I was trying to add something to the tailgate. And I was like, ice cream. People like ice cream. So I tried to figure out how the hell to get it. So I went to Craigslist. Facebook Marketplace ruined Craigslist because you could get some sketchy stuff on Craigslist. And they had an ice cream machine for sale in Charlotte. So I ride down to Charlotte, $300. The guy's like, dude, I don't know if it works or not. I got it from a buddy who closed his restaurant. My wife thought it was a daiquiri machine. Once she realized it wasn't, she said, get it the hell out of here. So he said, for $200, you can have it. So that's how the ice cream started, which has been a huge hit. And then Cheaters, a few of those years where we had noon game. Like people get there at 7 o'clock in the morning and there's nothing on. Like, game day hadn't started yet. So like, I'm just finding weird stuff to put on the TV. And Cheaters was on. And then when it was time to switch over, I tried to switch it and people were in mid-episode and they were like, whoa. And they wanted to finish it. So I get out there at 6:45 to 7. I'm there by 7 a.m. every Saturday. And so I just continue the tradition and get a bowl of ice cream and turn it to Cheaters.
Steve, I'm not going to lie. Like when I wake up on Saturday mornings and see do you tweet a picture every Saturday morning of it?
Yes.
See, that's a tradition unlike any other. Like when I wake up on a Saturday morning and see that tweet, I'm like, it's gonna be a good day today, man. It's gonna be a good day.
Yeah, I mean, you can't eat ice cream all day if you don't start early.
Dart, Steve's coming for you with the setup, by the way. He's got a good setup back there.
It's about time someone got a setup on this podcast besides me.
So that's all of my visors from years past.
How many battle
Can't
scars
get
do you
rid
guys
of
have
them. I like
from
that.
towing them down?
I mean, it's one per year. And they look like hell on earth by the end of it.
Hey, should we call you Steve on this podcast, or I hate light blue? What do you want to be referred to?
Whatever you want to call me.
I mean, I love I hate light blue. Like that's like the best.
And then this is a Jericho Cottrey jersey.
Oh,
I have a random white NC State Nike jersey with some random player I've never heard of. Like has his actual last name on the back and everything, and like it's just sitting in my closet hung up.
Yeah, I mean this one, back then you couldn't have names, so it is a legit Jericho jersey. I was a Jerichoholic back in the day.
Hey, should he have made Mount Rushmore of NC State athletes? Is he like bubble material? Like where does he fall there?
Bubble material.
He's top 10.
Yeah, I mean, he's my number 2 receiver.
I agree.
Behind Kelvin Harmon?
Goodness gracious.
Devin Carter.
I will say Devin Carter. Clayton Comet, hands of stone great.
Torrey Holt better be glad that Corey Robinson didn't play 4 years.
Correct. Yeah.
I do want to ask you and Reynolds this question. Because we caught heat, like it was mostly my take of that when me and Trey bumped into y'all in Blacksburg, the Brendan Armstrong year. Was I overreacting, or did like you can disagree? To me, Inner Sandman just did not do it for me like live. That it could have just been that one. It could have been a bad show for him, but it just didn't hit me the way I thought it would.
I love Inner Sandman. So I'm probably not the guy to get on your side on that one, but I love Inner Sandman. Florida State to me is probably the best one though.
I did see that. I said that on the pod because my dad did states travel for years for the Wolfpack Club, and then like their athletic department set up all their stuff. So I got the opportunity. Rivers, I think it was senior year, they played at Florida State, and I was down there, and seeing in unison the tomahawk chop at one time, and all that stuff was just like it's almost like unforgettable.
Yeah, and then when they light it and throw it at midfield, like it's pretty cool. Now I haven't been to like Boomer Sooner or Colorado to see those, but because those could possibly move up pretty high. But from what I've seen, Florida State it's better than Inner Sandman, but Inner Sandman is pretty cool. I mean, I just long for the day that State could just say, this is what we're doing and just go with it.
Yeah.
Well, my buddy Reynolds, I want to hear you real quick. So you're the young dude. Congratulations. You're the youngest guest we've ever had on the Ball Takes podcast. Like, how do you feel about that? Is that an honor?
Yes, it is a great honor.
So tell us a little bit about, dude, you're probably I'm telling you, like one of the biggest State fans I know. You've traveled to a bunch of different places. Like, when did you feel like you really started like truly like die hard State, like in it like you are now? When do you think that started?
I mean, probably when my dad and mom named me Reynolds. I didn't really have a choice. I mean, we've had season tickets for football and basketball ever since I've been alive, so it's kind of there's not really one specific moment where I can pinpoint it. It's just been who I am.
When you wake up on a Saturday morning and you know you get to go to the RV lot, like, is your adrenaline pumping from the moment you wake up?
Yeah, I mean it's the best thing that I do, so it's awesome. I get out there and I walk down Trinity, the hill from my apartments at the station, and meet Steve at 7, and we start our day. So it's the best.
So hey, this time it's on a Friday to kick it off.
Oh yeah.
I know that's right. Yeah. Steve isn't the because of tailgating purposes, Steve doesn't love the Friday games, but I love the Friday and Thursday
It's hard
games.
to get that out there early.
Yeah.
I mean, I can get out there early, but everybody else doesn't get out there early. Like people have to wait for their kids to get out of school, all that kind of stuff. So like tailgates don't start until 5. You know, it is crap for those reasons. Yeah. Now I like Friday better than Thursday,
Yeah.
but I still don't like Friday.
So Reynolds, I want you to, and then I want both you guys. I want Steve to take this too. So just state memories, right? Like, what are 3 state or however many you want to say? Like, I'm not going to limit you, right? Like, what are some of the biggest like state memories that you've experienced? You feel like?
I won't rank them in terms of best. The first one I'll say is the earliest one. I'll say like the earliest big game I remember was going to watch us play in the Belk Bowl against Teddy Bridgewater in 11. That was pretty fun. We had a big group there, and I think it was Zach Gentry gave me a glove after the game, and that was like the best thing that had ever happened to me up to that point.
Leesville legend.
Um, so that was pretty cool.
Went to school with them.
But just 24, right? I mean, that was 9 of my, or was it 9? 10? 9 and 1. 10 of my favorite memories. Just that whole, March month being at every game with Baldy was definitely very special. The ACC tournament was my spring break at Wake Tech, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna go to DC. So we went to DC, and then we just kept going, and yeah, I mean that was just great. So probably all at 24.
What was your favorite single game, or like single memory from that whole run? Like, do you have a favorite game?
I mean, the issue is the bigger the games were, like the less I remember of them, just because like in the moment it was just like, oh my God, this is just unbelievable that we're here. Like it is harder to remember those, but I mean that being at the Final Four was it was like a dream. I mean, it just didn't even feel real. But I mean that Carolina game, that was like the most stressful halftime ever. Just when Cormac hit that 3 at the buzzer and we were only down 1, it felt like we were down 12. And then we just kicked their tail the whole second half. But yeah, that was pretty special.
How many games are you guys? How many are you going to any? Well, let's see. Tell us some about your memories, man. Because I feel like when I first really put who you were together was the famous picture of you sitting by yourself at the ACC tournament when it got canceled from COVID. And I was like, who is this guy? And then I don't know if you told me, or I feel like that's when around that time, maybe it's like when I first met you, but I remember seeing that before I knew you. I was like, dude, this guy's a legend. Like, he's sitting by himself in Greensboro.
I mean, the Greensboro one was like we pulled a lot of strings to be able to get on the players list, because we knew it was ending any time. And then we were just like, let's go early, and then we're just going to hang out until they throw us out. And we just sat there and sat there and sat there.
Well, tell them whose player you were related to and what were you to them?
Oh, who was it, Reynolds?
You were like DJ Funderburk's cousin.
Yes. That's what he told her. We were Funderburk's cousin.
You look alike.
I see the resemblance.
Yeah. But because that was back when, that was right when you also had to sign for tickets. Like now they just email them over to you when you get player tickets or whatever. So I know that my signature is in the official NCAA investigation for certain players taking cash.
Dude, one of my other favorite things, Steve, is like me and my brother now, like it's like a random basketball game on a Tuesday night, like State at Pittsburgh. It's like, where's Waldo? Like, where's Steve? It's like you see this random dude just like sitting behind Will Wade, and you're like, it's 9 o'clock on a Thursday night in Tallahassee. It's like Steve's just sitting there.
Yeah, I mean, you just and it's just like you just got to do it. Like people are like, how do you do it? And I'm like, you just say you're going to do it, and you figure out how to do it. Like that's as that sounds simple, but like like I've driven back in the middle of the night and just gotten home, changed clothes, and went to work. Like whatever it is, like. I've been at a Kentucky baseball series, which we blew, and slept in my car at 2:00 in the morning in Cincinnati for an hour until the airport opened. Got on a plane, flew to Charleston, and had to sit in an 8-hour meeting for work all day.
That's dedication.
Just thinking about how Brett Kinnaman could have hit one more home run to take it to beat Kentucky.
No, I was really thinking like if the coach wouldn't try to save pitchers for the elimination game, that we might not have an elimination game.
Didn't State pitch? Was that that might be the TCU game where State pitched Corey Wilder in the chance to clinch it before the game 7. You did get to go to the State Georgia game because you and Greg the leg were on TV every 10 minutes.
Reynolds, weren't you here too?
In the Georgia region.
Yeah, I was there.
Golly.
I was there. Yeah, but
I would have had a heart attack when dude had struck out Condon and the other dude.
Look, nothing like when he's asking favorite memories. Winning at Arkansas is top 3 of all sports. I mean,
you think you could tell me where that Jose Torres home run ball landed? Because I've watched the highlight about 100 times, and I still have no idea where that ball's landed.
It and those people who it went over, they can't know either because they stood facing directly into the sun for 6 hours. Like they had no idea what was going on. Like, I mean, that weekend was like it was a great weekend. Like, because everybody in Arkansas knew everything about baseball. Like they lived and breathed it. Like, we would go to the Circle K at 2 a.m. and the toothless woman ringing up my big gulp is talking to me about our number 7 hitter. Like
he loved her some Voidaminchik.
I mean, while you can that's the only one I didn't like. I mean, son of a bitch. But I mean, you could go to the Circle K on Western Boulevard, and we could be in a super regional. And nobody there would even know there was a baseball game being played.
Hey,
so,
SEC, it just means more, man. I hate to say that.
But like the closest minor league team to there is like 3 or 4 hours away. Like all they have after basketball is baseball. Like,
amen.
And that was the year that they had Call
the Cops.
All the cops. Yeah.
And that night after game 2, when it was like, I don't know, it was like a beacon in town that said he's starting tomorrow, because like at the exact same time, 1 million Arkansas people were just like ready to take over the world. Like they knew the minute he was announced as a starter the next day that they were winning. Like they were like ready to go.
Was the Arkansas fans and it was meant in a good way, like a respectful way. Like they did like the Johnny Butler sucks, but it was like in the best possible way. Like we really respect Johnny Butler and love Johnny Butler for State, but like it's a joke to say he sucks, and then he just absolutely crushed their dreams and games.
Correct. Yeah, right. I mean, because like you play teams like Arkansas, or you play teams like Texas in football, or you play teams like that when you're State. Like when you go to these games, like they expect to win, so they're not mean to you.
Correct.
Because they expect to win. It's whenever you play your rival or like when we played at Indiana with Phillip, like when we went down like 14 points, like all of a sudden these two damn Hoosier fans showed up just to stand right next to us, just ready to taunt us. And then the minute Philip is like, nah, we'll just get the win here, they just like fell through the seats or something. They just evaporated. Like, so it's the arrogant ones that are that feel they're so much better. Like, they're not mean to you because they're not sweating you at all.
Steve,
and then after game one, it was 22 to 1 or something.
They had no reason to sweat it. That.
I believe that was the best thing that could have happened, was them just getting absolutely blown out and not using any arms.
Right. Correct. I mean, at some point in those, you do just say, screw it, we're saving our pitching and we're rolling out for game 2.
I almost threw Evan Justice on my Mount Rushmore just strictly for his postseason run. That dude was an absolute monster.
Hey, David Thompson, Phil Rivers, and Evan Justice.
Hey, I had Evan Justice on my notes for our draft. He was something.
I did take Trey Turner just to have some baseball representation on mine.
Steve, when did the travel really start like it is now? And like, is there a trip that you've been on? Maybe not because of how the game went or anything, but just like a trip that just sticks out in your brain. Like, it was a special trip, like a fun trip, like maybe where you went. But like, when did that really all start?
So I started going to basketball games when Herb was the coach. And it basically started because they used to hang out at the upper deck, which is now Sammy's. So I got to know John Gross as an assistant.
He's the basketball coach at where's he at now? He's at
Akron. He's at Akron. Okay. Oh yeah, he's a Zip.
I think he left to go to College of Charleston this year.
Did he go to College of Charleston this year?
I think that's right. Fact check me, but I'm pretty sure.
But he was at Illinois. He was a head coach at Illinois for a period of time. But so I started going to those. And back then the ACC, like, it was Maryland to Georgia Tech. So it wasn't difficult. And then in that same period, with the ACC being Maryland to Georgia Tech, like, we could just go to those games easy peasy. And it just started, and I hate watching state on TV. Like, it just annoys the hell out of me. I can't stand it.
I'm almost more behaved when I do go to games, honestly.
More behaved?
Well, I get more frustrated watching on TV.
That's how I am too.
You do too, Reynolds?
But most people who get more frustrated, they just get up and go into the kitchen, or they change channels, or they switch over to the other game, or some of that stuff. Like if you're there, you're just in it. Like, you just got to live it.
Reynolds, when did you really start, like, because I feel like in the past couple of years, all right, so long story short, I taught Reynolds in starting in 7th grade.
Yep.
And dude, I'm really thankful that we've like continued our relationship. Like, now that you're getting older, like, it's really cool and special to me. Like, when would you say you really started like your traveling like you do like now, or maybe like the past couple of years? Like, when do you think that really started for you?
I mean, traveling as much, I would say, once I got into college. I mean, like, I would go with my parents to, the bowl games and stuff like that. But, going to like more road trips just during the year, I would say probably once I got into college and I could just kind of do my own thing. I didn't have to, I would just tell my parents, hey, I'm going with Steve. And they'd be like, all right, cool.
Well, what's a trip like? You can't say the Final Four run, right? That's off the table because I feel like we've already talked about that. Is there another trip that you and Steve have made together that you guys like really enjoyed that maybe we wouldn't even like think about, or just one that was cool to you guys?
I can tell you the opposite, the worst one I have ever done.
Yeah, what was it? Yeah, absolutely.
That could be a long list.
Syracuse.
This is a Mount Rushmore of one for Reynolds of worst places.
Syracuse was the worst place I've ever been to in the world. It was gloomy. It was cold. It was rainy. We just got pummeled. The flight the next morning was at 5 in the morning. It was just awful. And the thing about Steve is before you start traveling, you have to be okay with with your flight leaving at 4 in the morning the day you're leaving because he wants to be at home before the sun rises. So we always do that. But yeah,
I am an airline
Syracuse
whore.
was.
I'm just going to put it out there. I'm an airline whore. Like, I was ready to be in row 35B on a flight to Rio just because I didn't want to pay $24 extra to get an aisle seat. So that's just how I am. So
wait, let's tell that story. So y'all
go ahead, Reynolds.
Reynolds, were you
Reynolds finish.
And then the best one, I mean, in 17 when we had a big group went to Notre Dame in 17 when we were really good. And that was probably the first like cool place that I've ever been to. That was like a pretty magical trip for me just because it was like Notre Dame, South Bend. We were really good, like going into the game. We thought we had a chance and we did until the pick six, offside, no call. But Notre Dame in 17 was a pretty cool trip. We went this past year and it just sucked because we sucked. But 17 Notre Dame was pretty fun.
Dude, I do remember you telling me you were. I feel like that would be so cool to go to Notre Dame. That's like legendary, historic, man. Even no matter how the game goes, just say you saw a football game at Notre Dame is like pretty, really, really cool.
Yeah, but I never have to go back again. After 2 butt kickings, and I'm fine.
Hey, man, that's fair. That's fair. That's how I am with state basketball playing at Carolina. I've been twice, and I think the combined margin of defeat is like 101. So, like, I will never step foot in Dean Smith Center like ever again.
The fact that me, you, Vance, and Mike paid hard-earned money to go to the game, Baby T's freshman year, knowing how bad we were, in the snow, nonetheless.
Well, Steve has a good Charlottesville stat.
You just got to keep going.
I'm 1-1 at the Dean Dome, so I'm done.
Because your memory is, hey, I'm 0-2. I was 0 for my first 13 going to Charlottesville for football and basketball. 0 for 13.
Was the 14th one the magical one? It was finally the 14th that it changed.
But I finally got a win at Charlottesville. And Charlottesville, I was scoreboarded by Larry Rose, the official. I have seen the worst national anthem in the history of national anthems. Like, I've seen all sorts of stuff at Virginia.
Are y'all going next week?
Are we going? What do you think?
Are you going too, Reynolds?
I am.
All right. Were you going to Rio too, or Steve? Were you just going by yourself?
Oh, I was just going by myself.
Wait, tell us. Wait, didn't you get another flight that you have to use to go to like somewhere else, but it can't be in America?
Yeah, so of course I'm trying to find the cheapest flight. Like, so I'm just researching. So my flight is on Copa Airlines. So
that sounds sketchy.
It is like a low fare airlines that flies. Every flight has to go through Panama.
The canal.
Yes, the canal. And there's actually non-stops on Copa from Raleigh to Panama on Copa. But of course, that's not the path I was taking. I was taking a Frontier flight to Tampa and then Tampa to Panama to Rio. And on the way home, Rio to Panama back to Raleigh. So, and it was like $700 round trip. And like after I booked my ticket, it's like, hey, choose your seats. And literally my first leg was Tampa to Panama. And that's like 3.5 hours. And it wanted like $30 extra for me to choose my seat. And I was like, I can't do it. I just can't do it. So I was like, I'm not picking any so then I had to cancel it, and now I have to pay $200 more to be able to use that $700 to go somewhere else.
Where are you going?
I'm probably going to go, which if people are like, what are you doing? I Googled tourist cities in northern South America. And it sent me to the great country of Colombia.
So you're taking a solo trip to Colombia?
So I'm just going to take a solo trip to Colombia.
Hey, and you get to go to Charlottesville. So is it kind of a win-win or no?
No. I mean, we already had it booked. Like let's just go. I mean,
you're saying you'd rather go to Brazil than be in a hotel room in Charlottesville with 4 college dudes?
The beaches of Brazil alone would be worth the trip.
But because I do so many trips, like I'm as budget gets. I mean, I am, like I said, I'm sleeping on the floor so 4 college kids can pay part of the room. But part of that is not only so my prices are less, but the more people who will come because the prices are lower, it's better. But I have no problem going by myself. I mean, last year I drove to Pitt to watch the football game. I drove up on a Friday night. The game was at 3:30, I think. And then at 7:00, I drove home and got home at like 3 a.m.
That was a bad one.
Where he also did Tallahassee in one day.
I did Tallahassee basketball, the 55-point win in one day.
Okay.
Yeah. They're not all terrible. But I've like day trip to Georgia Tech in football with airline flights, in football and basketball. Just flown down, gone to it, and come back. I mean,
because you can take MARTA. You can take MARTA almost from the airport to Georgia Tech, can't you?
Absolutely. Yep. You do not have to get a car. It lets you out like a block from the hot dog place.
I knew the varsity.
The varsity.
Trey, remember that church trip we went on? We stayed like at a hotel, it was like a Hampton Inn on Georgia Tech's campus. 3 of us walked at like 5:00 to the underground and back. And when we got back, we got ripped a new one for taking a risk of walking in downtown Atlanta to the underground and back. And this dude, Trey had hair at the time. Trey walks by this dude, and this dude looks at him dead in the face and goes, "Are you Tommy Hansen?"
I should have said yes, Dar. I should have said yes. All right, so look, hey, Reynolds, I'm starting with you. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, let's talk some current state football. I think it's football next week. We're 6 days away? Okay, I want your bold take, your bald take, your honest take. Prediction, I need a record, and I want a little bit of insight to why you're choosing that record. How are we feeling about state football this year?
I'll say my bald take is we go 3-9.
Oh my gosh! Are you serious?
No, okay, fine. I'll do the more fun one. I mean, we can go 9-3, and if we stay healthy, maybe we go 10-2. I don't know. I mean, Dave's done his time here. He's been here forever. I think he deserves one. I think he deserves 1 year to finally go his way, and he's not second every year. Like he said, he's been second every year, which was weird.
He's never been second.
Because I would die for us to be second. But yeah, I mean, I can see 9-3. Stay healthy. I think the Virginia game's huge. I think Virginia might be better than Vanderbilt. So if you can beat Virginia, beat Richmond, have a little momentum, you get that bye week in between Virginia and Richmond. You're going into Vandy fresh. Maybe we can beat Vandy. Who knows? But I think a lot of it just has to do with staying healthy, especially on defense. we're not very deep. So if we can stay healthy and CJ can, be better than last year, which you would think he would be, I think we have a chance. But we'll have fun tailgating. I know that.
Do you feel like, to your point, do you feel like if not this year, then like never? Because like the schedule looks like, just being honest, schedule looks very favorable. Like, do you feel like if it's not this year, then we might never see it in our lifetime? Are you that doom and gloom?
No, I mean, I said that when we had McCall and KC and all those guys. I was like, well, if it's not this year, it's never. And then here we are again. It's like, well, we have an easy schedule. We've got CJ. I mean, if we don't do it this year and Gunner's like junior year, we'll be like, oh, well, we can do it this year. I mean, Gunner's going to win the Heisman. So you never know. But I'm hoping Philip might move up in the coaching ranks, but Steve doesn't really like that idea too much.
I
don't
love
like
that
it either.
idea.
I don't like it either.
I love that idea.
It would be the best. It would be the best.
What was your final prediction? Specific, you got to put it on the airwaves. Give me a number.
9-3.
Okay. I like that.
Philip strikes me as a
Steve-
guy that would like Spider
That's-
2 White Banana.
That's 2 more losses than he usually says.
Yeah, I was waiting for I used to love the calls like, dude, we're winning the national championship this year. And it's like, yeah, we're 6-6.
Well, listen, I have a video. On my phone from when Lassiter was teaching us in 8th grade, and it's a selfie video, and I'm asking Lassiter for a prediction of State's football season coming up. And he said, I think he might have said 10-2 or not. He might have said, I think he said 9-3. And you said we were going to beat Texas A&M in the bowl game. But that year we did play A&M in the bowl game, but we lost by 30. But so you were close.
Just 30 points off.
Yeah,
DJ Riley had a great catch that game, though.
he did. We had it was New Year's Eve. I think it was Chase. Who was the concert after the game, Steve? It was a country music dude, red hair, red beard.
I don't even know
Trey-
who it was.
Trey Lassiter?
No, not Trey Lassiter. This guy had a head of hair too.
Chris Hansen?
I think the guy who sings "I Drive Your Truck."
Oh, Lee Bryce.
Lee Bryce?
Maybe him.
He's
Maybe.
a Clemson guy.
I don't know. But anyways, we lost New Year's Eve, Jacksonville. That was a fun trip.
Because I also left. Like,
No, you didn't.
I didn't stick around for the concert.
You did, I promise.
No, I did not. I did
I
not.
have
stick-
videos. I have videos on my phone.
There's no way I stuck around for the
You're in
concert.
front of me.
Then I was trying to find a gun to buy and a bullet to run. That's what I was trying to find.
I have a video on my phone of you there.
I mean, I like the Final Four game. The people we were with, they're like, let's stick around for the second game. Like, kill me. I sat in the entranceway of the arena, just up against the wall, like almost as close to outside the arena as I could get for the second game. And just sat there,
That was sad.
just
Dang.
thinking, like, get me out of here. Like I just
Get me back to God's country.
Look, there he is. Does he have a visor on?
You know,
What's he wearing on his head?
while everybody else is like happy that we lost because we were in the Final Four, and I'm just ready to kill myself.
Hey, Steve, what do you so your boy went 9-3. We've had varying predictions so far, and God, we need yours too, because you weren't on earlier. Give
7-5. 7-5.
Seriously?
7-5.
He knows better. He's a veteran.
I mean, 2 of the 3 of the big games to start with, we're losing. I mean, I think the last time we beat an SEC team that won a game that year was like 95 or something in the regular season.
Reynolds wasn't even born yet.
The last time that an SC team did what?
So the last time we beat an SEC team, and that SEC team had a win that year, is
that's
like
not true.
95. Because we beat South Carolina one year, but they went 0-11.
I know Dave beat Vandy.
No, that was in a bowl game.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Even though I'm sure he's got a banner up that he won a bowl game. He doesn't have many banners, I can tell you that.
Well, Steve, let's say this. Say we start 3-0. Then what?
7-5.
3-0. At 3-0, we lose to Louisville, we lose to Duke, we lose to Stanford, and we lose to a coachless Florida State.
Hey, we lost to a coachless Virginia Tech last year.
Correct. If Florida State still has their coach, we beat them. But I can't. You can't predict that. You can't predict that that Doran's gonna beat Duke.
That's fair.
But you can predict he'll whoop up on that baby blue.
Well, if we're gonna go with Doran based on recency will not beat Duke, then we cannot say Doran's gonna lose to Florida State then.
Or Virginia.
No, but I said he would only lose to Florida State if they didn't have their coach.
I think the difference between Virginia Tech last year and Florida State is it was still early enough for Virginia Tech still had pride, but going on the road, you already feel like a villain, so you have a little bit more to play for because you're playing spoiler. I feel like a coachless Florida State team at home with no fan support is going to be just as lifeless as they would be if they had the coach.
But I think that once they fire a coach, the fans will come back more. Because as a fan base, you have very few ways that you can show how you feel about a coach or how you feel about the coach.
Yeah.
And the biggest way to do it is to not show up.
That's fair.
I just like the difference between Virginia Tech and Florida State last year. Virginia Tech, I felt like still I'm not saying Florida doesn't have talent. That's not what I'm getting at. I just feel like Florida State is more likely to quit and just be lifeless because based on their history, is anytime anything goes wrong, they fold. Virginia Tech doesn't seem like even last year they didn't seem like a team that quit even when before their coach got fired. They just weren't a good team, but they still played with pride. I just don't see Florida State even without a coach, with Norvell, without Norvell, that late in the season, whatever their record is, to get them to finally pay that buyout. I just don't feel like that Florida State team is going to have the care, the give a crap, because a lot of those guys are top ranked players, big ranked players, and those are the guys that fold first half the time. They when things get tough, they fold.
I mean, out of those losses that I projected, I mean, that's the one. Well, that's the one that I feel least confident in the loss. But if we lose the two of the first three big games, like I have us losing at Stanford. Just because we're going all the way out there. Like, we're just not going to be worth a crap out there. Somebody loses to Stanford when they shouldn't.
That's fair.
I will also add history on state side. Dave is 4-0 against Virginia.
He is 4-0 against Virginia.
He's 1-0. I mean, this is just me just making up, moving the goalpost back, so bear with me. He's 1-0 on the West Coast.
He's 1-0
against a Heisman winner.
He's actually 1-0 and an asterisk.
Correct, because the San Diego game.
And then
the last SEC team he beat was Vanderbilt. Speaking of Vanderbilt games games we had to go to, I was at the Music City Bowl or Tom O'Brien's funeral back in 2011 or 2012, and it was
he'd already
that was not fun.
Jordan was in the stands for that. Jordan was in the booth.
Yeah. But it was basically his funeral because state just came out and just decided they didn't care. But the only positive part for us was because my dad was working it, we got to stay at the Opryland Hotel, so that was fun for the week. And then I think
it was.
And then I want to say we got tickets for that, so it's not like we ended up shelling out. Well, I was in high school at the time or a freshman in college, so it's not like I was shelling out anything. But it's not like money was shelled out for that trip. I think my family got to go, my mom and I, with his work, but it was still a fun. In the day, it's fun experience. It's Nashville. I saw Diamond Rio perform on New Year's Eve on the water. It's that whole trip was fun, but you talk about leaving a stadium, just trying to figure out what you just witnessed. A terrible Vanderbilt team just absolutely dog walked us that year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very disappointed, man. God, we need your prediction because I said 10-2, and I'm putting my name on that. I feel like Reynolds is riding with me. He said at least 9-3.
So
Like
so who's your two? If you had to pick two losses,
at Vanderbilt,
okay.
and then we'll lose one game we shouldn't lose. I don't know who that is. I don't have the courage to say what game, but we'll lose one game we should not lose. But we definitely beat Virginia next Saturday. Signed, sealed, delivered. We're the better team. We got the better quarterback.
So
We
you
got
have
a
us
better
in the
fan base.
ACC championship game.
We will be in Charlotte.
If we go to Charlotte, I'll shave my head, like
All right.
Grayson said.
Wait,
If we go to Charlotte, I'll go bald too.
Steve, can you like hold your hand up and Gob hold his hand up and like shake on that because my screen's terrible?
If we go to
to
Charlotte, same thing
Reynolds.
as Grayson said. If we go to
Reynolds.
Charlotte, I'll go bald.
Reynolds, will you shave your head?
I've actually been
Come on.
I've been telling my girlfriend I'm gonna get a buzz cut as a joke, and every time she's like no, and she would like hate me. So I would love to just in spite. So yes, if we make the ACC championship game, I will get a buzz cut.
Steve. All right, let's go. I can't wait for that post game
Well, hey,
podcast.
listen, the reason I can get behind the thought of us going to Charlotte, I've said it before, is because it is now at noon and it is not at 8. So the first year it is back at noon, we will make it.
God, we do love a noon game.
Not recently though. Not the last couple of years.
I'm gonna go 9-3. I'm gonna go 9-3. I do think this game against Virginia will set up one way or another the tone for the season, though. This is a big opening game.
I agree with that.
It's so big they're giving away tickets as fast as they can.
Yeah, so sell out Scott. I think they're gonna go 1-2 against Virginia, Louisville, and Vandy. I'm still not sure which two they're going to lose. So that would put them at 2, and then probably 1 somewhere else. Maybe Duke, probably Duke. And then, 9-3 would be a great season, and then I think they're in a bowl game above their weight, and they get smoked. So finish 9-4.
We don't have to be in a bowl game above our weight to lose.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Maryland, who has 5,000 fans and score no touchdowns.
That Kentucky one was pretty bad too.
That Kentucky one was terrible. A 5-win Kentucky game.
That was bad.
Not saying this matters right now on paper. How many games is State favored? Am I crazy that they're going to be favored in 10 games?
Yes.
What games are they not favored? They're not favored. Are they favored this weekend?
Probably Virginia and
5.5 dogs.
Virginia and Vanderbilt
Vandy, they're going to be
the
dogs.
I think
Louisville
will
be interesting.
Coin flip. Legit, probably a coin flip based on Vegas odds.
What is all this hype around Louisville? I hear their name in every sport. They never do anything.
Money.
Yeah, but who cares? At some point, you actually have to do what have they done? Like, who are they bringing back? Lamar Jackson? Like, who do they have?
The probably best running back in the ACC, Isaac Brown. Maybe the best running back in the country.
But we have the best quarterback in the ACC. Y'all are getting me fired up now. Like, what would you rather have, the best running back or the best quarterback?
I think we have both.
Does their running back get scared when he gets hit hard?
Our quarterback's not going to get hit because we have the best offensive line in the ACC.
Holy cow. Somebody's trying to go out with Savannah 2J.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Steve.
Hey, we need a tagger.
Steve.
Yeah.
Honestly, right now, this is just me and you talking. Nobody else is here. All right? It's just me and you. You really believe 7-5 in your heart, not because of the past, not because we're NC State. This year, this team, this schedule. You really think 7-5?
I do think 7-5. I do think 7-5.
Okay, I respect it.
I think there's a path to 7-5.
I mean, if I had to put if I had to put my house up for sale on a number, I would probably put it at 8-4.
Okay.
because that's probably the safest number.
Yeah, Vegas has 7.5 wins.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, that's losing 2 of those 3 tough games and then 2 others.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Anyone, I want conversation on this. Then I got one more thing I want to ask you. Then I got to eat my frozen pizza I just made. All right, do you guys think, what would you define as, like, what number does they have to get, or what does a successful season look like this year?
9.
9.
8's whatever. And honestly, to me, 9's whatever at this point. I mean, he's won 9.
Are we
what,
talking
4
bowl
times?
game 2 or just regular season?
No, just regular season. Like, what does that look like?
9.
9's good. 10 is exceptional.
8 is whatever. And then 7 would be 7's bad.
Yes.
All right, am I crazy on this? Like,
Yes.
8 and 4, 8 and 4 sounds 10 times better than 7 and 5. Okay,
It does.
Yeah, it
but
does.
It does.
I don't think 9 and 3 sounds that much better than 8 and 4. Like, I would kind of lump the, maybe it does to y'all. I feel like there's a big jump between like when you're playing these non-conference. I don't know. To me, 8 and 4 sounds 10 times better than 7 and 5. But 9 and 3 and 8 and 4 sound very similar to me, just in my brain.
Well, the only reason I would say 9-3 sounds a lot better than 8-4, and we could talk about bowl games and whatnot if they mean anything with the transfer portal and players sitting out. But if you win 9 regular season games, at least you have the opportunity for a 10-win season with the bowl game. You know,
It's a good point, Gob. It's a good point.
I thought I'm getting my years mixed up. What, Brennan Armstrong? That was what, 20? We're in 2023. 23. God, we should have beat K-State. I mean,
if Peyton plays,
that's another one we gave away. When freaking Penix, what was that, a fake punt?
Fake punt. I just don't take a lot of stock in bowl games because guys just don't play. Like State played Texas A&M that year without Kelvin Harmon, Jacoby Myers, Bradley Chubb. Maybe I could be wrong.
We could have played with the Ring of Honor.
I don't put bowl games. I don't think there's much stock in bowl games, but like,
I don't hold it as gospel.
If they win one to get the 10 wins, like, dude, I literally have seen that once, and I barely even remember it because I was a little kid.
And we had to play like 27 games to get to 10.
I was at the Virginia game in 2002 when they were on that losing streak. I was at the Georgia Tech games. I'll take full blame for.
I mean, I don't know how much bowl games really matter. However, we beat Memphis 31-7. If we lose to Memphis 31-7, I do not think CJ comes back.
No.
So
that's fair.
I agree.
Like in our case last year, I do think kicking their tail did something. Because if we just get crushed, I do not think CJ comes back.
But I also think that it is because, but bowl games mean less, yes. But if you are a school that traditionally loses bowl games, you try to talk yourself into how unimportant they are. It's sort of like ACC championships in sports. Like State fans had gone so long without one that everybody tried to downplay the importance of an ACC championship because in their mind it's just like it helps them cope with life. But like if you win the bowl game, it means more when you win it. Then when you lose it, then you're like, well, you know, Billy Bob's didn't play, and you know, we lost a tight ends coach to Rice.
We had to fly on Copa America. We didn't get our Delta flight, like all that. That's fair.
I mean, I've slept on the floor at the Las Vegas airport to watch us not play in San Diego.
I feel like we need to do a whole episode with just like no one else talk. Just let Steve have an hour and just like talk about all his like travel experiences.
I mean, there have been some experiences. I've had the Horned Frogs fans just rub my back just for like 5 minutes just because we blew a 7-run lead.
Oh God.
Like they just sat there and rubbed my back.
We need to do a Steve tells all episode for sure.
Hey, Hey, next week Steve's gonna have his own podcast, and everybody else is just like done. No one else is gonna get any views. It's all just gonna be, I hate light blue.
There's a lot of people who think that Reynolds is my son.
He's not.
I mean, after that like state run in basketball, like where they saw us at every event, there are a lot of people who think Reynolds is my kid.
Which was a great honor for Steve to have.
Yeah.
Weren't y'all behind the Burns' dad at that game in Dallas, like right there?
Yeah, we were right there, and
somehow,
Dorn and his son.
So somehow we, for the Duke game in Dallas, we got the best of all the tickets that we got throughout. We were usually like 15 or 20 rows back, but somehow we were shuffled like in front of Wendell, behind Julius Hodge, behind Dave Doran,
Mike Glennon.
Like it was like, what's going on?
I remember Reynolds when like that up in DC, that like Wolfpack Club like pregame like dinner or whatever for before the Carolina game?
Yeah.
And like you told me about just like walking around, and I was like, dude, holy smoke, that's Wendell Murphy in like a red leather jacket. Like this was like, this is awesome. Like that was cool.
Yeah. That was the 5th day we'd been there. And I mean, the first day we went against Louisville, it was basically me, Steve, 2 Wolfpack Club employees, and Boo. It was about there was no more than 10 people. And then for the Carolina game, they had to rent the whole second floor of the building.
Honestly, that's a great crew though. Just you, Steve, and Boo. Like I would love to be a fly on the wall for those conversations. All right, look, I want y'all's opinion on this, Reynolds and Steve, and it's 2 different generations, which is great. We did a topic a couple weeks ago of like Mount Rushmore state athletes, right? Like we're not going to make you guys draft and whatever. Like who would just be your top 4 like favorite all time? Who you think like state athletes?
So does it have to be in my lifetime or no?
No, it doesn't have to be. It could be anybody you want. Like your top 4 state athletes.
Favorite?
Do it however you want to. Dar, what should they do? God, what should they do? Favorite or who they think were the best? What do you think?
I mean,
I'll do my favorite in my life.
Okay.
All right.
Because like I could say David Thompson, but I never saw him play.
Tough.
Okay, so top 4, I'll go Peyton Wilson is my 1. I would die for Peyton Wilson. DJ Burns. Bradley Chubb.
Ooh.
And Casey Morsell.
Wow. Morcelli.
And let me tell you, the fact that Brennan Armstrong is not on this list.
His dad would be.
Yeah, Brennan Armstrong dad would be. Like Reynolds tried so hard to be adopted from them. One time they were trying to get their picture taken. Reynolds is like, hey, I'll take your picture. So most people would say, let me have your phone. No, Reynolds takes it on his phone so he can get their phone number.
Oh my God.
That's a great move. That's using your resources.
Yeah.
I got a picture of Casey Morsell during the Canes parade. Ran into him and KJ Keats. And so I go up to him and I'm like, hey, can I get a picture with you guys? And KJ's like, here, I'll take the picture. And he didn't even get in. And I was like, dude, I wanted both of y'all. Fun fact, my cousin used to babysit KJ Keats.
Wow.
He's from that same height.
Yeah, he says that KJ introduced him to Fortnite.
I actually I taught Keats, his older son, for a year in PE, or younger son, Caden, for a year in PE.
I taught Terrence Holt's son.
Hey, we only say good things about the Keats family on this podcast, or you will not come back. We do not bash the Keats family, okay?
ACC champion.
ACC champion.
Final Four coach Kevin Keats. I just want that to be clear.
Is that Josh Goodson? I see.
No, I'm trying. Hey,
He wouldn't fit in on ball takes.
Hey, Hey, y'all gonna have more Twitter beef this year? No,
I'm sure we will. I am sure we will.
That's just two guys who love the Pack. That's all that is. It's just passion.
Sunday mornings, there have been multiple times where I have typed something out and I'm like, I can't get into it this morning and just delete it.
There have been multiple times when we are driving home from a football game and he spends more time typing on Twitter to Josh than his eyes on the road.
Hey, Steve, how good do you feel though? Like, darn, sending off a tweet that is like therapeutic, like just to get it out of your system. It does feel kind of good, doesn't it?
It is. It is. I mean, like I like during games, mine is kill me. That's my go-to late in the game. And there were enough football games one year that like the suicide prevention hotline started following me.
Oh my gosh. No way. Holy smokes. Hey, who's on your Mount Rushmore?
So favorite on Mount Rushmore, no particular order, is Jericho, Julius, Philip, and Peyton.
Great list.
I mean,
great list.
Because Julius, we just don't. I mean, Julius hates losing, and like I feel like that's a dying breed in sports. Players who just hate losing, but they just get over it so quickly. Like it's done. The minute they lose, it's just on to the next one. And Julius, I mean, the stories of him, like they said, like you hated being the train, the walk-on trainer who was tied to Julius, because after a loss, he's at the gym at like 3 a.m. just shooting shots because he can't sleep. So like you just don't have that anymore.
So who do you think, Steve, is more likely to ever coach, assistant coach, heck, a game for NC State, Julius Hodge or Phillip Rivers?
I would put it at Phillip.
Yeah.
I mean, because his son is coming here. So that's an equation that tilts it towards him if it was even a push. So maybe
you say.
Can I talk trash about Dave Doran? Is it just Keats that I'm not allowed to?
Yeah, we don't.
Doran's fair game.
Okay, good.
He was blocked by Doran on Twitter.
No way.
Yeah. Do you want to know why?
Why?
So I never, in any of my anger towards the game, towards anything, do I ever tag a coach, the team, any of that stuff. But what is it that Doran bitches about the fans more than anything in life?
Staying at halftime, coming early.
Coming back from halftime.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so we sit in 109 in basketball. 110 is where the football team gets free tickets, like when they come or the recruits come and any of that stuff. And they always leave at the half and never come back for the second half. So every time they don't come back, I would tweet at Doran that he didn't come back for the second half.
And that got you blocked?
And he blocked me. He even missed the start of the second half for the Duke Elite Eight game. Because he had to get a liquor drink. Isn't that ironic? He had to get a liquor drink.
Oh, my God.
Hey, will you be in your seats at the start of the third quarter?
So I will be in the stadium by the start of the third quarter. Sometimes I get tied up trying to leave, filling up the ice cream machine or getting more M&Ms or finding a cheer wine for me to drink or something. But I'm always in the stadium to start the second half. and we never have the ball to start the second half. So we want it quiet anyway. So,
hey, can I ask this, Reynolds? I would like you to verify if we win the ACC championship this year. For all those tweets, can you write a personal letter, handwritten, to Dave Doran, thanking him for this season?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, Reynolds, you everybody got that? Yeah. So we're gonna shave so we're all going bald once State wins it all, and Steve's writing a personal letter to Dave Doran.
I just said
why did Trey say we're all going bald when that happened?
I got something.
I mean, that's like me saying I'm going to shave my head when that happens.
That was good.
No. If they do, you got to wear a wig. You got to go opposite.
A wig. My head would sweat so bad.
Oh my! Yeah, if they win, I'll grow my hair out. Deal. Well, Steve, me and you will grow our hair out when they win it all. All right.
I will not shave my head until. I won't shave my head until we lose in the postseason of football.
Oh, I forgot to say this, by the way. We're definitely going to the college football playoff this year.
Oh my goodness! Not at 10-2.
Yes, because ACC champ automatic. We'll be there.
Yeah, and I'll be sub 200 pounds by the end of the year.
Hey, I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
I hope you're right.
All right. Hey, before we go, Reynolds and Steve, what an honor. I mean, what an honor just to have two big-time State fans, two big-time guys bless us with their presence on the Ball Takes podcast. Fellas, were you excited? Like, how are we doing, man? I just appreciate y'all.
Yeah, we're pumped. We're gonna leave Friday about noon, head down to Charlottesville, maybe go to the Wolfpack Club happy hour that night and get ready to roll for Saturday. So we're excited. I'm expecting a lot of red in Charlottesville. I was telling Steve, I think the fact that the game wasn't always in Charlottesville and it moved from Brazil to Charlottesville, people were like, oh, wow, we can actually go now. Let's go. Mm-hmm. So I'm expecting a good amount of red on Saturday. So we'll see.
Are any of y'all going?
No, I got a fantasy football draft at the same time in person.
It's pitiful last year.
I'll be tuned in though.
I mean, like whenever y'all made this schedule for fantasy football, there wasn't like a schedule, NC State football schedule.
There was, but they were playing halfway across the world.
Okay, that's actually fair. I respect it.
Y'all did not make the schedule for the draft 5 months ago.
Yeah, you might have me on that one. I don't know. It sounded good in my head, but now I'm kind of backtracking. I mean, hey,
not a lot of them are State fans.
No, I just show up when I'm told. You know what I'm saying? But trust me, we'll be tuned in. Steve, serious question. Do you want to change your prediction, or are you staying with 7-5?
7-5. 7-5.
And
I would love to change my prediction. I would love to be able to roll out 11-1, but 7-5.
And then can you just tell the fans one more time where if people made it this far along, like I know we actually they're real listeners.
Yeah.
What where can the fans
They're
find you?
And it's just running. Yeah.
Where can they find you on Twitter? Because I think it's one of the best Twitter handles out there on Pack Nation.
It's at I Hate Light Blue.
Okay. Will there be ice cream in Charlottesville?
There will not be a soft serve ice cream in Charlottesville. No. That's just for home games. That is just for home games. And it'll be brewed at about 1:30 on Thursday.
Okay, so if we come by that night, we could have some soft serve ice cream.
Yeah, and there's an NFL game that night. We'll have it on the 15-foot screen. Have a couple of the TVs going. Popcorn, ice cream.
Nacho cheese.
And that will just be one game in our journey closer to 10-2.
That will
That's
be
all
one game closer to 7-5.
Dar, that needs to be a clip. All right,
One
Dar,
game
Gav.
closer to 7-5.
Dar, Gav, you guys got anything else?
Nope. I need to hit the hay.
Dar?
But thanks for having us.
You're
It was
gonna have
fun.
all
Thank
night
you.
waiting for this release to drop.
Nah, for real, babe. Before I X out, like, Riddles and Steve, for real, man. Like, love y'all to death. Appreciate y'all a lot. Like, hey, we definitely got to get y'all back on, like, once we get going the year. You guys cool with that?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, but once the
Post-game live.
NBA's on, once the NBA's on, you're going to stop watching college football.
Hey, don't worry. The GOAT debate's coming up in a couple weeks. So if you want to fire off any hot takes against LeBron, you just let me know.
It's not
All
a
right.
hot take, though. All right.
And make
Hey,
sure to follow Ice Cream Steve's on Instagram.
Yeah, Ice Cream Steve's if you would like an ice cream party.
Wait, for real?
Yeah,
Soft serve
Yep.
machine rentals.
self-serve machine rental.
Ice cream
I
Steve.
was about to follow Steve on Twitter, but I don't want to give away my burner. I'll wait for a random couple weeks or something.
If you follow it right now, he's like, yeah, that was Ben Duncan.
That's Ben.
It's like Markel Johnson, but now play. I don't know who your
No,
burner is.
that's not me. That's not me.
I'll just ask Timmy what burner you are, and Timmy will tell me.
All right, fellas. Hey, appreciate y'all, man. Love y'all. Ball Takes Podcast, episode 5. See y'all next week. Peace.
See y'all.
Oh.